Shabbat Shalom, and welcome to Keepers of the House of Light. My name is Yehuda Ben Israel, and again, we've been having some difficulties with our technical component here, but we are doing our best to find out what's happening with our manufacturers of the different equipment we use. But we started a little late, but nevertheless, we are here, praise Yah, to keep Yahweh's Sabbath. Praise Yah, brothers. And again, brothers, let's introduce ourselves to our viewers. Brother to my left.
Uriah Ben Israel.
Obadiah Ben Israel.
And again, I'm Yehuda Ben Israel. We are Keepers of the House of Light. Keepers of the House of Light are dedicated to spreading the righteousness, love, mercy, and forgiveness of our Father, Yahweh Elohim of hosts, by and through his Son, Yeshua the Messiah, or Yeshua HaMashiach, the Lamb of Yahweh, the King of Israel, the High Priest, and our Redeemer and Savior, whose name be blessed forever. Hey, praise Yah. We are here to teach and proclaim the gospel of Yeshua, who magnifies the law of Yahweh and makes it righteous. He makes it righteous. And we went over that last Shabbat. We went over to Isaiah 42. I think we talked about Isaiah 42, where it says, it clearly speaks of the Mashiach, that he will come and make Yahweh's law righteous. He's going to magnify it. And that's going to show you that it's more than just the letter of the law.
You were right, Isaiah 42. Verse 21.
And what does it say again, that part?
It says, Yahweh is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable.
And make it honorable.
Right.
See, Israel as a nation couldn't do that, right?
No.
Israel as a nation couldn't make it honorable.
We fell down on the job, but that was prophesied too.
Right.
Yeshua had to come and be the second Adam.
But how many people believe the report? Now, it's prophesied, but who believed the report?
The only remnant is going to be saved.
Right.
So Israel be able to stand and receive.
Exactly.
That's right.
So somebody's going to believe the report. And I want to be a part of that group. I want to be a part of that remnant.
That's right.
And I thank Yahweh for giving me a spirit to believe in these trying times. We were talking about this off the air. But it's just our people are in trouble.
Yes.
Big trouble.
In big trouble. And your problem is a moral problem. It's a spiritual problem. It's a value problem. But you can't get your values and morals from the world. You got to get it, this book. This is your righteousness. This is what he gave to our people, right? So this is what it's all about. If you're viewing us today, we're here to teach this gospel so that you can make a decision spiritually. Yahweh give you a spirit so that you can repent. Stop breaking the laws. Stop doing evil. And you may think to yourself, I'm a good Joe. But being a good Joe,
that's not going to save you.
We're not going to put you.
Right. I'm a good gal. I'm all right.
What is good?
Uh-oh.
I mean, if we don't use the law or Yahweh's word to define good or evil, then what is good?
What is good?
Righteousness.
They call good evil in these days and now.
That's right.
That's right.
Well, that's so correct, because if you say that they changed it, right? Good is evil.
Right.
So, and if you speak if you speak this book from the word and the principles of this word, you might offend somebody. Everybody's ready to be offended. You will get, they call it, they will cancel you.
That's right.
They cancel you. We'll cancel you. We don't want to hear that. You offended me. One person was offended. Why were you offended? Well, that's another story. But we know what's going on, because when you hear these, and our people are involved in it. So-called black people, black African American, whatever term you want to use, we know they're the children of Israel.
That's right.
They're involved knee-deep in this culture. And to be quite honest, let's be honest. Black people are no better than any other people in the country. No, but we are the children of Israel, though.
So we're held to a higher standard.
We are held to a higher standard. And we're in this situation because of that.
That's right.
You mentioned earlier the curses.
Yeah.
It's on us, but
It's on us.
it's on us deep. So
Men, the women, we're messed up as a people.
right,
Yeah.
because just because you get this truth, you start walking around haughty.
Mm.
And I know the truth. I'm in
I
Israel.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
a Jew. I'm in the body. I'm washed in the blood of the Mashiach. Now everybody
I'm not
else is
like those people.
yeah. Everybody else is trash now.
Well, the publican said that when he went to go pray. See, I'm not like that man over there. I pray three times a day, and I fast, and I do all. I pay my tithes. I do all that, right? But Yeshua, you don't even stand a chance.
You don't even stand a
You
chance.
don't even stand a chance. You know, but
The publican that was next to him, wasn't the public, and the tax collector next to him,
See,
he was just like, hey, you don't even lift his head up.
see, I'm a sinner.
I'm a sinner. Just came clean. That's all Yahweh wants you to do. Is come clean. Though your sins be as crimson.
I'll make the whitest snow.
Come on, man. That's a good deal.
Right.
That's a good deal. But if you keep walking in disobedience and the sins, you're separating yourself from Yahweh. Yahweh is holy. He's telling you, you got to get that. My hand ain't short. Yahweh says his hand's not short. You know, his ear can't incline, right? But your sins have separated you from your God, from your Elohim.
That's right.
So we're trying to get you back, tell you how to get back in touch.
Yep.
Get back on the right side. But these are the things that matter, right? So let's begin
You
this
know
class.
what?
Okay.
You know what? It's not going to be a pretty thing when Yahweh starts pleading with you.
Well,
All of what they said, hell break loose.
mhm.
Yeah, so, we have to return back unto him.
Well, he's pleading with our people every day. Don't worry, he is pleading. They dying left and right in America. So he's already pleading with them.
Wow.
So you're right, but he's doing it now.
Yep.
Because you are languishing away, pining away in your iniquity in the land of your captors.
That's right.
Leviticus 26, I believe. Right?
That's right.
Pining away. And Yahweh is pleading with you.
Yep.
With the young men. They're like what? Bulls, right?
Wild bulls.
That's right.
Wild bulls.
I saw it was a shooting right down the street from me. It was at a gas station. One was 21, and one was 22, one was 25. And they get into a heated dispute over who knows what. And sadly, they reverted to both of them pulled out guns. One killed the other one, and the other one got locked up.
Right.
So, it fit the stereotype. By 25, you either dead, locked up in jail. And
Right.
It's disgusting.
Right. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
And it is, and see,
It's disgusting.
somebody has to, I don't know. I think it has to just, like the book says, it got to play its way out. Somebody got to die. But we're going to speak the truth because, like you said, now, that's in Isaiah 42 as well. Read the rest of that when you say Isaiah 42, what the rest of that say.
It says,
That's verse 18, right?
yeah, that was 21.
21.
Well, I'll pick it up from 18. It says, hear you deaf, and look you blind, that you may see. Who is blind but my servant, or deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as Yahweh's servant? Seeing many things, but thou observest not. Opening the ears, but he heareth not. Yahweh is well pleased for his righteousness' sake. He will magnify the law and make it honorable. But this is a people robbed and spoiled. They are all of them snared in holes. They are hid in prison houses. They are for a prey, and none delivereth, for a spoil, and none says restore. Who among you will give ear to this? Who will hearken and hear for the time to come? Who gave Jacob for a spoil, and Israel to the robbers? Did not Yahweh, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore he has poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and it has set him on fire round about, yet he knew not. And it burned him, yet he laid it not to heart.
See, this is what's going on.
That's what we know.
You're catching hell everywhere.
And don't know why.
You don't know why. You're not even thinking about these things. So this is what we're talking about when we're saying these curses and things of this nature.
Yeah.
Our people they don't know. They can't. The Christian church can't explain it.
Politicians ain't gonna explain.
Politicians can't explain it.
Spiritual issue.
It's a spiritual issue, and we can talk about our women and our men, our behavior, with each other. But
they just had a brother pass.
Brother just passed.
I mean,
yeah, and we can speak his name. Kevin Samuels. And but
they hear or forbid, agree or disagree, like it or love it, hate it or love it. I see people wishing death.
See, and that's the question.
That's not right, man.
And that's not right.
No.
Yeah, you're right. When you hear, agree, disagree, but you wishing death on your brother.
Yeah, that's not right.
But see, that's the kind of environment we're in. And we have to do something about it. But only thing Yahweh put us here to do is to speak this truth.
Correct.
And whether you hear or forbear, that's on you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But what's the name of the class, Brother Obadiah, today?
The title of the class is the Mosaic Covenant and the Laws.
Definitely. It's called the Mosaic Covenants, the Mosaic Covenant.
The Mosaic Covenant and the Law.
And the law.
Yes, sir.
And the laws?
Yeah.
And the law.
And the law.
And the laws.
And the laws. Plural. So, Mosaic Covenant and the laws. Well, listen. That's what we're doing right now. We went to the beginning of this class, right? At the beginning of this book. So, with that, let me turn it over to the Elder Uriah so we can get the pre-class reading done so we can go and delve a little further and we can discuss some more things. Let's get that done.
Yeah, thank you, my elder. In this pre-class, we're going to be starting in the book of Deuteronomy, Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 4 and 5. Verse 4, Hear, O Israel, Yahweh our Elohim is one Adonai, and thou shalt love Yahweh thy Elohim with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might.
Praise God.
And this is the Shema. The next place we'd like to take you is in the book of Matthew.
Okay.
Matthew chapter 22.
Right.
We're going to be picking up the reading at verse 34.
Yeah, that's how this thing lines up.
Yeah. Matthew chapter 22, verse 34. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yeshua said unto him, Thou shalt love Yahweh thy Elohim with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. And these two commandments hang all the laws and the prophets.
Now, brother, I have to say it again. We just talked about this. Verse 39. Now, where is this being exhibited that in verse 39, loving thou shalt love your neighbor as thyself? Where is this being exhibited in the so-called black communities? And you just talked about a shooting at a gas station.
Yeah.
Now, what kind of love is that? You don't even love yourself. You shot your brother and murdered him.
No love in the city.
No love in the city.
There's no love amongst our people. I mean, no, there is love.
There's love, yes.
You have small pockets. You got families. You got small communities within the community. But there's, like you define community. I think that was awesome.
Right. Praise God.
I think we need to deal with that.
Okay.
Let's define that word, because our people because we live around each other, we say that's a community.
No,
Right.
that's not a community.
It's not a community.
We got to take it further.
Definitely.
We have to.
Exactly. So we're going to go back to that definition. We'll let Elder Uriah finish up. No, you're right. But no, we're going to go back there. We need to
Finish up
discuss
with
that.
and give out some more thought.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Turn your book to the book of Isaiah. Isaiah chapter 58, verse 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Shabbat, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call the Shabbat a delight, the holy of Yahweh, honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thine own ways, nor finding thine own pleasure, nor speaking thine own words. then shalt thou delight thyself in Yahweh, and I will cause thee to ride upon the high places of the earth, and feed thee with the heritage of Jacob thy father, for the mouth of Yahweh has spoken it.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah,
praise Yah, my brother. And this is Yahweh's Sabbath. We have to keep reminding. So we have to hold something. What kind of people can't? I'm just speaking in general, because we know everybody isn't out here. Even when we read the scriptures, all the children of Israel didn't break the commandment, but he held the nation accountable. The good and the bad went in captivity.
Correct.
The righteous and the unrighteous. You follow me?
That's right.
It was a nation. So sometimes we're suffering based on the disobedience and recklessness of a few, or in some cases, the majority. But the few, the saints of Yahweh, of Yahshua Mashiach, we have to speak. We have to speak. So, brother, you go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, let me close this pre-class reading in the book of Matthew chapter 18.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You didn't cover that.
Verse 20.
That's all right. I knew we missed something. Matthew 18.
Yeah, Matthew 18, verse 20.
Okay.
Solidified.
Okay.
After. That's the reason why we're here today.
Praise Him.
Verse 20. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Praise Yahweh.
Praise
All right. I'm going to give you because I thought when we skipped it, we kind of go from here to there. Boom, boom, and then that. That's why we got here. I thought, I followed the structure. But praise y'all for that, because again, we have to, come together for righteousness.
That's right.
Say,
That's right.
Yahshua is willing. He's showing his spirit that if we are willing and we gather, he said, I'm going to be there. What more can you ask for?
What's up with me? What's up with that?
Exactly. What more can we ask for? But let's go back to that discussion. Let's look at this definition that we were talking about, and you guys can share your thoughts. But it's nothing crazy.
So looking back, our youth today or what's going on right now, is basically we turn our ear from not following the law of Yahweh. That's basically what's going on right now.
Correct.
That's pretty much, we look on the Shema, the Shema spoke of that. You have to follow the laws. Not only hear, listen, but you have to do. You have to walk in it.
Well, I think our people, you're right. They had some semblance. They knew the law. They knew generally the law, even in the faith of Christianity and its various denominations. They knew, but somehow down the line, like you said, brother, our people walked away from the books. They stay on those ancient paths.
Of course.
Walk on the ancient path.
Straight and narrow. The
straight and narrow paths. See, our people, when they came out of the bondage in America and got this so-called freedom in the 60s, after those Civil Rights Act and Voting Rights Act was passed, and then you had all kinds of different integration and desegregation, integration. And then you can see when the freedom expanded and we had more opportunities and the women's rights the National Organization of Women, and then you had we're discussing that now, the sexual rights of women and reproductive rights and different things. And then our women got involved in those movements as well, but they had no historical connection to none of that. But they decided we're women. We're going to go with the majority. But the majority, they were part of the oppression. You were not put down because you were a woman. You were put down because you was black and a woman. Nobody never mistreated you because you were a woman. Only your gender. And we were all poor together at one point. So we had no position to keep you out of. Never. So how are black men keeping you down when we didn't have the position in the beginning? Nor do we hold them down to jobs. So but let me stay on task. Let's look at that term community. We brought it up. And I'm just going straight to the computer. Google. The definition, community, And the question we should be asking, should this term, which is applicable?
Correct.
All right?
Correct.
It says community is defined a group of people living in the same place. That's one.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's one part of it.
Mm-hmm.
A group of people, let's break it down, living in the same place, or, now this is two, or having a particular characteristic in common. That's the second part of it.
Okay.
Or having a particular characteristic in common. You get a group of people living in the same place, one, or two, having a particular characteristic in common. And they give another definition of community as well. This is the second one. Second part of it. It says a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals. And they give an example here. This quote, the sense of community that organized religion can provide. End of quote. So you seeing that, again, a group of people living in the same place, one, or two, having a particular characteristic in common, two, then you got that three, a feeling of fellowship with others as a result of sharing common attitudes, interests, and goals.
Right. So you could have like a group of people who are retired and they stay in a subdivision. And we say, well, this is a retirement community.
Exactly.
But they ain't got that doesn't link them in any.
Right. Because you're right. Because they may have different different religions, different political beliefs, cultural views. They're not the same. So, but some black people, we are a bunch of individuals living together. So they say, well, but that's a community. But do you have any
common
values, beliefs,
yeah.
Characters?
Yeah.
We're all black. Now, once upon a time, those were a bit more clear to define. Black, we're Christian, we live in the South, with this. You have all these variables. So the question is, but what is that fellowship? What is that true fellowship and community? Community, which means having something in common that's positive and that's good, that engenders righteousness.
It's small pockets of it, but as a whole, no.
Right.
Yeah, Yahweh said he turned every man's hand against his brother, and so we see the result of that.
Yeah.
You know.
We basically cannot really do anything if Yahweh has given you an instruction. That spirit to do His work, you have to go out there and do what Yahweh asked you to do.
That's right.
Right. So when we say the community, we got different values.
Yeah.
We've integrated now. And so when you say integrated, now you're still redlined away. You're still segregated. Black people here, white people here, generally speaking. But what are your values? What are your values? Because if I speak, I can bring up one topic. We can bring up women productive rights, right?
That's a hot topic.
That's a hot topic. But you're going to have a division in the community of black people with that. I can bring up religion, obviously. I can bring up politics. I can bring up a lot of things that you're going to have a whole lot. You're going to have some people who agree to agree collectively on some of those things.
I have a shootout.
But then and depending on what community, you are in,
right,
it may result in a violent interaction.
That's right. That's right.
Among our people.
And other nations.
So only thing that we can come to we can't come to agreement with the Bible. Because you can read out this Bible and say, well, that's your interpretation. Well, this is what it's reading. I'm not interpreting, I'm reading, I can read. Yahweh give us a spirit to understand.
Praise God.
Right?
Yeah.
I don't know what else to say. But we got to start asking ourselves, when we hear this term, black community, what does that really mean?
If we can't come together and communicate as a people,
right,
and we've lost our moral compass as a people, and if we can't encourage one, I mean, like, let's look at Bill Cosby. Bill Cosby tried to say something to edify the community. Now, he's an elder brother in the community, regardless of what people think about him or what have you. But and I mean, like I said, hate it, like it, love it. We understand there's multiple variables.
Right.
But if we can't communicate with one another as a people, there is no community. Because
Right.
I mean, I think that was the
right.
direction that he was trying to go when he spoke.
Exactly. He was still coming with he was still holding on to the values that he had instilled, and was trying to hope, hey, what has happened? How did we deviate so far away from these core community values that we had in the 50s, the 60s, all the way up to the 70s, then in the 80s and 90s? You see all the different plagues hit our community. You know, so
we're not excusing nothing. You know, we know there's a whole lot of discussion. We're not just excusing anything that was done or said or justifying anything on his actions.
Right.
We're just saying the dialogue is a community.
Right.
Our elder brother in the community coming out saying, hey, what's going on? We need to do better. We can't even do that.
Nope, because we said it earlier, it's that cancel culture.
Right.
So you want to hold people to perfection. Just because if I tell you killing, thou shalt not kill, we're going to cover that in a moment. Well, you're telling me, well, you didn't pay your taxes on time, so you're not perfect neither. Well, I'm talking about not murdering your people. But you're saying, well, did you get in a fight once? Yeah, I did get in a fight, but we're not talking about. See, you're not qualified to speak. You have to be perfect. Well, when the Mashiach was here and he was perfect, your fathers, many of them, didn't want to hear what he had to say.
That's right.
They thought that brother right up on that focus stage.
Put it right up there and say, kill him.
Let his blood be upon us.
What? And our what? And our children.
children.
So be it today. Let it be done. So you can't, so this book, when you sit here wishing death on somebody because you don't like what they say about your behavior, or the behavior that we see is becoming more rampant and more rampant and rampant, hey, that's on you. But you got to be a hard-hearted person to wish death on somebody. Remember, we old school. You got children too. You got somebody you love.
That's right.
He has a mama too.
That's right.
Now, what did he do to you? So harsh. This book talks about judgment for death. See, you got a judgment. See, the same judgment you mete out for him, there's a creator that's going to say, I'm going to mete it out to you.
That's right.
You said, I'm glad he's dead. You might have somebody, when they're saying, open that book up on you one day, brother, and say, you're going to get eternal death. You're going to die and get resurrected and cast into the lake of fire.
That's right.
But you may not believe it. That's okay. You don't have to believe it. Whether you hear it, what do you say? Whether they hear or forbear. We just got to do what we have to do. But you're right, man. It's the only thing that we can do now is go back to this book. And let's go back to the book. Somebody tell me the name of the class again.
So it's the Mosaic Law, or the
That's
Mosaic Covenant and the laws.
That's right, the Mosaic Covenant and the laws. So let's go back to where last week we covered Exodus. We went to Exodus 20. And that's where the commandments, the covenant was given to the nation of Israel. Remember now, Exodus 19 is where Yahweh made the proposal
That's correct.
to Israel. It's a covenant, right?
That's right.
He made the proposal. He gave it to his servant Moshe. And Moshe, the mediator of the first covenant, took it back to the people, to the elders, right?
Yeah.
You read Exodus 19, it's all in there, right?
That's right.
Yeah,
And they accepted. He spoke the word that Yahweh gave him to the people. And he said, all that Yahweh say, we will do. So they accepted the marital covenant. And we know, let's read it. Exodus 19, verse 8, Uriah. And what were you going to say? You were saying something?
You know what? Our forefathers, they know in their heart that they wasn't going to do it.
Right.
They're just trying to say, you know what? Okay, whatever you said,
Okay.
just to, hush up the Mosiah.
Right.
Okay, we can't take any more of your ear.
But you're going to be bound to your words.
Okay.
But what did it say here when he brought that? Read 7 and 8.
7, 8.
Exodus 19, verses 7 and 8.
Okay. Exodus chapter 19, verse 7. And Moshe came and called for the elders of the people and laid before their faces all these words which Yahweh commanded him. And all the people answered together and said, all that Yahweh has spoken, we will do. And Moshe returned the words of the people unto Yahweh.
Right, and he told them after that, prepare the people, get them together. Don't go unto your wives, get yourself ready. Let the Levites know, I'm going to appear before them. I want to do these things. So you can read Exodus 19 yourself, but we want to give you the preview of what's going on. And so they're going to hear, but guess what? We're on that covenant to this day.
That's right.
That covenant is not gone. Yahweh didn't break his covenant. Our fathers is a conditional covenant, but let's see the words that Yahweh is going to speak, Brother Uriah, to the people, because they all said, not some,
Right.
all. They all said it. So
That's right.
that's a wrap. So let's see what happens now. The marital covenant has been accepted, and now you're going to get the covenant.
That's right. We're in the book of Exodus chapter 20, verse 1. Exodus
Go ahead, brother.
chapter 20, verse 1. And Elohim spake all these words, saying, I am Yahweh thy Elohim, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of
He
bondage.
declares who he is.
That's right.
First of all, this is a contract. This is who you're dealing with. You got to have the parties to the contract. There are two people to a covenant. Make one or more. They put it out. Got to be at least two.
That's correct.
So he's declaring who he is, and he's telling who they are. I brought you out, right? So you got to look at this as a legal document, and we're going to see that as Elder Uriah continues to read.
Verse 3. Thou shalt have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth.
So no idols.
Nothing at all. Verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them, nor serve them. For I, Yahweh thy Elohim, am a jealous Elohim, visiting the iniquity of the fathers upon the children unto the third and fourth generation of them that hate me, and showing mercy unto thousands of them that love me and keep my commandments. Thou shalt not take the name of Yahweh thy Elohim in vain, for Yahweh will not hold him guiltless that taketh his name in vain. Remember the Shabbat day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work. But the seventh day is the Shabbat of Yahweh thy Elohim. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within thy gates. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that in them is, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore Yahweh blessed the Shabbat day and hallowed it. Verse 12. Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which Yahweh thy Elohim giveth thee. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, nor anything that is thy neighbor. And all the people saw the thunderings, and the lightnings, and the noise of the trumpet, and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moshe, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die.
That voice, those words, shook them in that fleshly body. You're hearing heavenly words being spoken. You know you can't stand and hear that. But that's where you get that sign. They're supposed to fear him. Hearing no other people have ever heard anything like that.
Right.
No other nation.
No other nation. They cannot say they're the saints.
Nope.
They can't say they're saints of Yahweh.
But why did Yahweh have to constantly prove himself?
Wow.
Oh man.
Now
I mean, this is a high-minded people. You got to prove yourself to them constantly.
Are we not the same? Are we not that today?
This is the point.
Okay, I didn't cut you off. We are, no matter what you say, black people, our people, going to find fault in you. Now, you can't speak on everything in the universe, but give me a break. Let me at least express this part. Am I wrong or right on this? No, I don't hear that. So Moshe has been, but that's the point. They think they're not dealing with Yahweh, but they are dealing with Yahweh. You're making Yahweh prove himself.
But Yahweh took the time to prove himself.
He did it. That's right. That's right.
You know, I mean, we read in Exodus when he was taking them out of when he took them out of Egypt.
Yeah.
He said, "I led them this way," because he knew war was. If they bucked up with them and saw war, they're gonna panic. They're gonna do something stupid. They're not ready for that.
Yeah.
Let me take them this way. That's what he did to you as a father.
Right. Took you the long way around.
Right.
See, sometimes that's how he deal with us in our individual lives. He'll take us the long way around because you know you're knucklehead.
You're not ready for that.
You're not ready for that.
See, that's what happened with integration and all these other things
Wow.
that came up among our people. They just coming fresh out of slavery. We
couldn't
wasn't
handle
ready
that.
for that.
We wasn't ready for that.
I mean, it was Yah's will that it happened, but we really weren't ready.
We wasn't ready for it. We
Now
wouldn't.
look at us.
No, look at us.
Like, yeah,
The foundation was too firm, loose
yeah.
to deal with the other nations like that. And they're dealing. You're playing. It's like playing basketball, and we are black people are one player. No matter how good you are, you got Michael Jordan. He's one person, but you're playing against 5 people. You're playing against all the nations.
Yeah.
You're playing individual ball against everybody, and everybody beating you. The Koreans are whooping you. The Jewish community, Esau, they whooping you. Everybody beat you. Native American, if they out here did. Black people just can't. But you're playing individual. You're not playing as a team or a unit.
Correct.
So you cannot compete in America like that. Some of us are going to do okay because we might be stronger and have better opportunities. But they can't pull up 40 million. One person can't pull up 40 million people who are playing individual ball.
Correct.
So the question is,
That's just my way of spinning it.
How can you pick them up?
the question I was going to ask was like, when are we going to ready? And what are we going to use to get them ready?
Well, only thing we can do right now, brothers, is we know the reason why. And this covenant that we're reading, because our fathers didn't do right.
Correct. That's
right.
What we're just reading now.
That's right.
And that's going to be, this is the beginning of the history of the nation.
That's right.
The Passover bring us out as a nation. This is going to show, if you follow it, that shows the progression of Israel. And that's it's great. It's a humble beginning. And coming out of Egypt is great in the beginning. Then we got humbled and put in a situation. Then our Elohim came to rescue us. And used one of our people, Moshe, to do it. So let's read all the way down there, brother Uriah, because they're seeing these things. In verse 18, you just read that about they seeing the mountains, and like the brother Obi said, they seeing all these things, and it's like, we're going to see we're going to see a history of that to prove them.
Let's continue. Verse 20. And
No,
Moshe,
19. Go to 19 again.
you're going to read 19 again? Okay.
Did we read that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's read it again.
Verse 19. And they said unto Moshe, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die. And Moshe said unto the people, Fear not, for Elohim is come to prove you.
To test you.
Yeah, and that his fear may be before your faces, that you sin not.
So you're gonna see you don't see all these great things coming out of Egypt. And now you hearing the voice of your Elohim to test you. Like, come on now. It should be getting ready. It should be sticking in right now.
Yeah, you know what, my Ella, we know that, the fear.
1, 2, 3.
Yes, the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge.
Right.
What knowledge? The knowledge about his
Mosaic Covenant and the law.
That's right.
Right.
That's what we need to study. That's what we need to listen to and follow these instructions.
Right.
That was the glue that Yahweh gave to the people.
That's
to keep
it.
them as a nation together.
Exactly.
So this is why we've fallen apart.
We're lawless.
Yeah.
You don't have any law.
Yeah.
Verse 21. And the people stood afar off, and Moshe drew near unto the thick darkness where Elohim was. And Yahweh said unto Moshe, Thou shalt say unto the children of Israel, You have seen that I have talked with you from heaven.
Praise
You
God.
have not you shall not make with me gods of silver, neither shall you make unto you gods of gold. An altar of earth thou shalt make unto me, and shalt sacrifice thereon thy burnt offerings and thy peace offerings, thy sheep and thine oxen. In all places where I record my name, I will come unto thee, and I will bless thee. And if thou wilt make me an altar of stone, thou shalt not build it of used stone. For if thou lift up thy tool upon it, thou shalt pollute it.
That is polluted.
Yeah. Neither shalt thou go up by steps unto mine altar, that thy nakedness be not discovered thereon.
Okay, so we see here Yah has laid out the commandments to them.
That's right.
And he's also prepared. They've been sacrificed. He's letting them know now. When you start doing these sacrifices, he laid that out to them. You do it on a what? He said you do it on a mound of earth, right? That's in the peace offering, verse 24. Y'all do it on an altar of earth. But then he gives them another opportunity to say, well, now if you do it out of stone, don't put your chisel to it. Don't put your hammer on it.
That's right. Because then you make it all about you.
Right.
Instead of about the Creator.
Right. You're trying to put your mind to how it should look.
Yeah.
So now you can't create nothing like you say.
Nah.
Tell you don't do that. But let's go back here, brother. I'm going to go here again. When we talk about in Exodus 20, verses 3 and 4, when we're talking verses 3, 4, and 5, and he's talking about these gods. Y'all shall have no other gods before me. Thou shalt not make unto thee any graven image or any likeness of anything that is in heaven above, or that is in the earth beneath, or that is in the water under the earth. So he gives them, and you don't bow down yourself in verse 5. Thou shalt not bow down thyself to them or serve them. He letting you know what kind of character he has. Because I'm jealous. I'm letting you know about who I am now. Now you get to know me a little bit. I'm letting you know these things. So you can let people know, hey, man, I don't play certain things. Don't play like that. I'm giving you notice. Don't come at me like that.
Right.
So if you come right now, because you're going to, if you come wrong, you might feel I did you dirty, as they say in the streets. I'm going to hand you your hat. Now, why you do it that way?
Right.
I look at those little things, but that's what he's saying. But so I'm jealous.
Let me ask you a question now. Why look at a picture up on the wall?
Right.
Is that a graven image?
No.
See, are we bowing down ourselves to them?
No.
Nope. Are we worshiping it?
No.
See, I mean, we know that our fathers, they would go out in the groves and go put up an idol and go bow themselves down to it.
Right.
I mean, these are the things that they were doing.
Right.
They make a golden calf.
Exactly.
They have to see it and they worship that image.
Correct.
Right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So to say to do artwork is worshiping a god. That's outrageous.
But you know what,
It's not true.
your car could be your God. So what you're saying to me now? I can't drive a car? I can't buy a car? Come on now.
Oh, it's vanity.
Your very house could be your God.
Right.
So what do you say?
Yeah, you have to read what we just read.
Come on, man.
Don't, like you said, like we talk
Don't
about.
add to the word.
Don't add to it. Don't add to it. And what he said, don't you bow down to it. Don't you worship. They just came out of Egypt. And we went over this last week. And he's letting you know about these gods. He just showed them that those gods in Egypt were not gods.
That's right.
They couldn't do nothing with me.
But they saw all those idols. We showed them the images.
Yeah, you showed them.
They bowed down and
They bowed down to them. They were doing it.
Don't be afraid of
But like you said, Yahweh he judged the gods of Egypt, including Pharaoh, and I'm going to say their names again. So when you do this, you look at this class, the previous classes, we talked about the gods of Egypt. Hapi, I'm not going to tell you every little aspect of it, but these are like 10 gods we're going to talk about. Hapi was one, Heket, Geb, Kepha, Hethor, Isis, Nut, Seth, Ra, and Pharaoh himself. And so you're seeing here, so now if you got any brain, you and understanding, you already come out of Egypt, and we should definitely know this, reading, that, well, what you want to bow down to a God, those gods couldn't save the Egyptians. Right. Their gods couldn't save them, who were not gods. Now we know that they were not gods.
That's right.
He judged the whole country. You know, I'm Elohim. And then he broke it down here again. He talked about it again, verse 23. You shall not make with me gods. Don't put no thing beside me.
Correct.
Call him a god. Don't even associate with me with anything.
Yes. But Ella, look at a few things. We have the weeks of the days.
Right.
They name after gods.
Right.
Our garments or whatever we wear is made after gods. The God name is written on it.
Right.
What should you do?
Right. Well, see, the thing about that is this. The common sense thing to understand, well, once upon a time you had your own land. This is telling you, now you're not in the land of Israel. You're in the land of your captors.
That's right.
And Yahweh is giving them dominion over you and control. Now, I don't see nobody worshiping the swoop. I don't call the name. They ain't advertising for them. But I'm not going to, not bowing down to that. You put some clothes on your back and go on yourself. Because Paul said, we know an idol is nothing in the world.
That's right.
So why are you worried going berserk?
Yeah.
You know, the thing is, like you said, brother, this land is full of, they mad over their idols.
That's right.
And so you can't do anything about that. But what our job is to do right now, because Israel has been scattered to the four corners of the world in the land of their enemies. So this is what you're doing. We're fulfilling the scripture.
That's right.
Yahweh didn't give us the law over here. So we can't judge nobody about this badly. We're just, you got to have mercy on your people. Stop judging them in the flesh because you think you know a little something more than they do. You know what I'm saying?
You know what?
Are we on camera? We're good.
You know what? Flashback is like going to the store because right now I ought to go to the store, and during the Christmas season,
right?
Every one of those bags have a Christmas symbol on it.
Right.
So are you serving or worshiping God when you groceries are taken out?
No.
Of the grocery store?
No.
You just gonna carry it in your hand.
Right.
Just carry it in your hand.
That's an impractical man.
I mean, yeah.
But then you want to act like you're so righteous about the letter of the law.
No.
But like you said, when you start looking at you have what? Not kept all of the law. Particularly those are the spiritual things of the law. So you got our people out here in these different Hebrew camps jumping on one foot to another. They don't know where they're coming or going. And they don't have the spirit on them to just sit down. If you've been studying at a place long enough, at some point you should be able to discern.
That's right.
Discern correctly.
Correct.
What is written, what is someone's opinion, and what is plain propaganda. Look that word up. Propaganda. So sometimes you get caught up because you refuse to, read you early on. But Yahweh may take you around the long way, like you mentioned earlier. Right. Like he took Israel around, as we're going to discuss as we go further. But he might got to take you through that so you can come around and wake you up totally. But some people, they can't, for whatever reason, Yahweh, they get defeated. And those environments turn them away from Yahweh. Turn away from the truth. They think that I've been mistreated and misguided by this person who I trusted. And they know what they do, don't they? Because they don't care. You can't care. So, but that's fine. But that's Yahweh do what He want to do, and so we have to be honest about certain things.
What we need to realize is that we are responsible for our salvation.
Yeah.
You can listen to a person
But the bottom line is, you are the one to decide whether you want to follow this word or whether you argue what you said or forbid.
Right. Yeah, you got to. Right. Yeah, it's on you. You can't say you know what's right. The Spirit is giving you a spirit of discernment. You know what's right, and you may know what's wrong. Follow what's right, you know, and do that which is right.
Follow the Spirit.
Like you. Some of y'all are in camps and places. You're involved in fornication. You're in there fornicating with men and women, and talking about this is of Yahweh. You're being made a prey of. That's all. And now you don't got it's a cult-like environment.
Yeah.
Yep.
But see, nobody should have you away from your people. You should be able to sit, hear this word, and interact around your people, because you're supposed to have a light in you.
That's right.
You know, they're gonna hide your light. You just stay around us.
Right. Take that one talent and bury it.
And bury it.
See when the master comes back and see how he deals with that. What did he say about that? You see
Exactly.
one that had 5.
Exactly.
He multiplied.
You're right.
Yeah. Take it away from
Take
him.
Take that from the heat at the 1 and give it to me at 10. I think it's 10 or 5. Give it to him.
It's not the whole that need healing, it's the sick.
Exactly.
See,
Praise
that's
God,
right.
brother.
Yeah.
So let's get continued. So we see that the covenant has been given to Israel, right? This covenant, this Mosaic covenant has been given to Israel. And so now let's see what's going to happen right now in chapter 21. Deacon Brother Obadiah, would you begin to read that?
Yes, sir.
Please?
Praise him. Exodus chapter 21, verse 1. Now these are the judgments which thou shalt set before them. If thou buy a Hebrew servant, 6 years he shall serve, and in the 7th year he shall go out free for nothing. If he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him. If the master has given him a wife, and she has borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. And if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free, then his master shall bring him unto the judges. He shall also bring him to the door, or unto the doorpost, and his master shall bore his ear through within all, and he shall serve him forever.
Okay,
Wow.
let's talk about that. Now that sounds, again, these are the customs of that time period.
Correct.
That's right.
These are the things that were going on.
Mm-hmm.
So men, and he got a servant, he got a Hebrew servant, an employee, a servant. He works for him. He's not a slave.
Correct.
Right?
So,
you come in, you work, it's time to go. After that period, you could work up this age. You could, if you buy a Hebrew servant, they would call that an indentured servant. When they got to Britain, the Europeans started coming to America.
yes.
The British called them indentured. They had to pay for their passage. So in order to secure, they were indentured. They had a debt, indentured. So that was a debt, and they worked so many years to pay off their passage to America. And once that was done, they were free to do whatever they wanted to after that time.
That's right.
So this is similar to this. This is a Hebrew servant working for another Hebrew, right?
That's right.
It gives a period, 6 years. So he served, but in the 7th, you gotta let him go. He shall go out free for nothing. So yes, he was being paid during this time and whatever, housing and whatever, he's been paid. But it came down, what about this? What about the marriage thing? Is that plain?
It's plain. The master gave him a wife.
The master gave him a wife. It's so hard to look at it that way because, I'm going to look at it through our agriculture, point of view, where if you have a lot of animals, and you just need just a bull. So whatever the bull produces, with those offspring, those belong to the master. So it's the same thing here, where you have a servant. The master is going to provide the wife, and if you provide the wife, pretty much all the offspring belongs to the master.
Well, and again, this is an anachronistic thing. Now, this may not have been going on at the time of the Mashiach, thousands of years later.
That's
but
correct.
we're just showing, because people read this And they think that they dealt with this all
Right.
through the
This is
time.
how the Mashiach came to magnify
By the law, so you can have understanding.
Correct.
Because by the time you get to the gospel era, you hear them talking about their one wife.
Correct.
They're not talking about the service. They talk about service employees.
That's right.
Things evolve.
Yes.
The twain shall be one, he said.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So here, but now, is this different from when Yaakov was dealing with Laban? Is that with Leah and Rachel?
Yeah.
Now, Laban, it was his daughters and whatever.
Correct.
But how is that? Let's distinguish that so that people can see, is that similar or is that the same? What say you? Are you?
I mean, it basically is the same.
Are you sure?
I mean, because Laban, remember Laban, he gave Yaakov, and he paid a dowry for them too.
No, well,
See,
And
that's
that-
different.
that's different. He bought the child. He bought them. He didn't give him nothing. Laban was going to cheat him.
Yeah, all of it.
But so that was different.
He
That's
had
what I
an
want to see.
agreement.
Yeah, he had an
Right.
agreement. He purchased it. He bought it. He didn't give him nothing as a servant.
Yeah.
He bought
them.
with his time. He worked 14 years there.
You see-
That's not like this.
I understand. It's a little different.
It's a lot different now. Don't make it similar.
And
But he tried to play a game on
he
it.
was the head of that household.
Correct.
You understand? And all instruction, is given by him. You understand?
Well,
But he made an agreement.
he had an agreement.
That's right.
That was his wife. It's not like, yes, he worked for him.
Mhm.
Let's look at it now. This is what we got to understand. He worked with Laban.
That's
That
correct.
was his uncle, right? He worked with his uncle. He fell in love with Rachel off the top, right? And he said, well, yeah, you can have it, but you got to work a period of time for this.
Mhm.
And that's going to be your dowry. You're going to work, right?
Well, Laban thought it was the same thing. I mean, to account to what Elder said. He said, these are my children.
These are my
These are
children.
my.
I know that.
Yeah,
You're right.
But
Yeah.
he dealt harshly. He
Right.
dealt wickedly with
Right.
him.
I know.
And y'all would have reprimanded him for
Right.
it.
That's
But-
And had to set him straight, say, no, you're not going to deal with him.
You're not going to deal with him like that because he tried to use that,
Correct.
but that was a misapplication of the law.
Of the law.
It's
Right.
not, those children are not yours.
Correct.
Because I bought my wife. I bought both of them from you.
That's right.
They're my wives.
I paid you for it.
Yeah, I paid you for them. So any issue, my children are my children. But if Yahweh didn't intervene,
On
he
his
was going
behalf.
on his behalf. He was just took them.
Yeah.
And see, that's that mindset.
Yeah.
He had the power to do it.
Yeah.
So this is a little bit
He
different.
used that law
He kind of used
to
it.
manipulate it.
Right.
And twist it around. Yeah.
So the law was in there. So this wasn't something that was uncommon
Correct.
that we're reading here then.
Yeah.
Correct? So this was going on at the time. So if he did not have ability, because Jacob didn't have nothing, right? He came there just with, hey,
But he wasn't sent to him as a servant.
no, he sent him as a family
He was
member.
sent to go get a wife.
Get a wife there,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
Jacob was sent there on the run and to
run.
marry. You're right.
Correct.
And to marry. You're right. You on the run
He was trying to spare him.
and get a wife. Don't marry no Canaanite women. So that's the thing when we look at the law, we have to there's a nuance here. If you read it, then you see where Laban was off. He was totally off. You know, this says, let's read it. Let's read it again. What does it say in verse 3?
It says, if he came in by himself, he shall go out by himself. If he were married, then his wife shall go out with him.
Okay, now continue reading.
If his master has given him a wife,
Pause.
see,
That's a gratuity.
right,
Yeah.
That's a gift. You've been with me. Well, you know,
So
I'll
long.
give you a wife.
not going to be alone.
Yeah, you know. But look at, let's go back, read that again. Continue reading.
If his master has given him a wife, and she have borne him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself.
So that's what Jacob was saying. Man, you know, I did all this, I did that, and I did all these things. But for Yahweh, you would have sent me out with nothing.
Right. You changed my wages 10 times.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
So you changed my wages, so a servant gets paid.
Correct.
He's not a slave. This is not a Hebrew slave. You can't have a Hebrew cannot enslave a Hebrew, right? But let's look back what we discussed again. When Yosef got raised up to the level of the governor, second in command.
That's correct.
Did not Pharaoh give him a wife?
Correct.
That's correct.
Correct?
Correct.
He gave him a wife, and it was one of the priest's daughters.
That's right.
Right? That was his wife. But there was no strings attached. That was his, because he had saved Egypt. Right? There's no argument about those kids not his.
That's right.
They left with him. Right? There's no issue. You know, when they were all there together. His sons, not Benjamin, but Manasseh and Ephraim. It was his boys, right?
That's right.
Of an Egyptian woman. Given to him.
Right, Pharaoh.
Well, see, now that's a different, but now
That's kind of different, because these laws, even though it's applicable to our people in general, it can be used nationwide.
But that's what I'm saying. These laws, these things that we're seeing, these customs were the norm in that region. So they're not like something totally whatever.
Correct.
The Israelites now they're getting but now but this has come from Yahweh. So they are becoming, these are exceedingly righteous.
That's right.
Because it comes from him.
That's right.
And he separated them. They've been baptized, sanctified, coming through the Red Sea, right? So here, we're looking at this thing, okay, but again, it's his. So you don't cheat your people.
That's right.
Laban was running game. That's why I wanted to bring that up. You know, we all caught it all the way up to that. Oh, yeah. That man worked 14 years.
14 years.
And that was a clear deal.
That's right.
He said, well, the younger should marry before the oldest. But I give you her. You know, you can have her too, marry her, and but I gotta get 7 more years out. You know.
You see that Yahweh was with
He blessed that man, being blessed left and right. So let's continue. But I wanted to stop there. I think that was a good praise God to cover that, because when you see these things, we don't want you being confused when you see servant, and you might hear somebody say, "What about Laban?" Well, them brothers over the keepers of the house of light already discussed that. You have to go and read and break it down.
Praise God. Verse 7. And if a man sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the men servants do.
Okay.
If she please not her master, who has betrothed her to herself, then shall he rather let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he has dealt deceitfully with her.
Okay, let's pause right there. Verse 7, read that again.
And if a man shall sell his daughter to be a maidservant, she shall not go out as the men servants.
Okay, so it's a different situation when your daughter is a servant.
Correct.
And you put her in a situation to work.
She's already vulnerable.
She's already vulnerable. Off the top.
Off the top.
And what happens now in verse 8?
If she please not her master, who has betrothed her to himself, then shall he let her be redeemed. To sell her unto a strange nation, he shall have no power, seeing he has dealt deceitfully with her.
So what say you about that? Verse 8.
See, after he marries her, if he takes her to himself, and then he casts her off because he's just not pleased with her for any reason, instead of, no, you can't just sell her to a strange nation. You're dealing with her like she's just a slave to you.
Right.
So Yahweh had to protect her. And put that in because he knew we had a patriarchal society.
Yeah.
And so he knew how the men were.
Right.
And that not only would they take advantage of this situation, so he had to put some stipulations with it to restrict them, to protect them. The daughters had no protection. They were under their fathers. So once she becomes under the roof of another man, she has no protection. But the law which Yahweh's going to put out there for her, and the Shiach, we know now, the Shiach. But prior to that, once she's under the rule of another man, her father has no say so in that. Right. And that's he's just going to cast her off.
Right.
You can't do
that. You can't do that.
So, you can't do that. So in verse 8 then, brother, you're right. So what does Yahweh do? What does he do to avoid that? If you don't like her, you're not going to sell her to no strange nation, but what you got to do? He says, then shall he let her be redeemed. You got to let her father, her family, redeem her, bring her back to us.
That's right.
If you don't want to do that, so you got to let her be brought back. I got to be a kinsman redeemer to her. That's correct. You don't did her this way.
Now, we have an example of that, or a similar example with David's, when Tamar got, is it Tamar? Tamar got raped. Her brother raped her.
Right.
Her brother told her, no, my sister, you come dwell in my house with me.
Right.
Don't you worry about that. I'm not gonna leave you out here shameful out here like that.
Right.
Like they're gonna look at you like you some harlot or something.
Right.
Come dwell in my house.
Right.
You know, and he was like a covering for her.
That's right.
You know, in a sense. I'm asking, is that not?
I think
that's
that,
what I received.
Yeah. I think that you can say that because he has to. You know, she was married, raped, and humbled in that sense. So it wasn't a servant type transaction, was it?
No.
I think so. It's not necessarily the same.
No.
A maid servant, but you do see that kinsman redeemer comes in to make sure. Look, I'm going to put you under my covering because the only option for her to be out there is to become a prostitute.
Correct.
If there's no covering,
Yeah.
they had very few options. She had to go live with that in that type of lifestyle.
Yeah.
So he said, no, that's not going to happen. But this is very different as far as that employment / okay, I don't bought her, I don't got her from you, so I'm going to go ahead and betroth her. I'm going to marry her.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, it goes on, but then he hates her for some reason. What happened? You know what I mean? You can't, you know, you had that law. Yahweh had to protect the daughters of Zion.
That's
The
correct.
daughters of Zion.
Yeah.
You know, in a better way, right?
Yeah.
Unlike we got some mindset, she ain't nothing.
Correct.
No, that's hypocrite. That's not right.
No, that's not right.
And that's not scriptural. Put it that way. Continue, my brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 9. And if he has betrothed her unto his son, he shall deal with her after the manner of daughters.
Okay.
If he has taken him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish.
Okay.
Praise
Now,
Him.
go ahead.
Praise
brother.
Him.
Finish. Okay. Let me see here. Now, verse 9 said, now he could have he bought her from her daughter, family, and said, well, you know what? I'm gonna betroth her to my son. So the same with a daughter. You got to treat. You can't bother her no more.
Correct.
You can't bother her at all. And secondly, there may have to be a dowry of some type here, but we'll look at that because he's already paid something, right?
Correct.
To bring her in. But what about these brothers saying they can have 2 or 3 wives? Let's look at verse 10.
If he take him another wife, her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage shall he not diminish. So polygamy was legal.
Okay.
There were stipulations, however.
All right, there's stipulation.
Verse 11. And if he do not these 3 unto her, which was in verse 10, it said he had to provide her food, her raiment, and her duty of marriage.
Right.
It says, if he do not these 3 unto her, then shall she go out free without money.
See, so you're like saying, well, I'm not going to take care of you, I'm going to do this. I'm not going to go into you as a wife. We're not going to have marital relations. So I'm going to leave you on ice. I'm with this wife now. I don't want him to. So they said, no, that's horrible.
Yeah.
So leave her alone. You're not going to take care of me. And see, what if we hear this scripture where, we're going to be so many women going to grab hold going to say, give me your name, take the reproach, 7 women, take that reproach off me, and see, and that mind is all, so when we read it, that's a carnal mind. It's not like you're going to keep, no, I'm just going to put you here so you're not your name is good. You're under my protection. You're under my, you follow me? Just like you said about Tamar here. Same type thing. But I'm going to have all of them section in the kingdom of heaven
So they gonna
with Christ on the throne.
But
On the origin. Yeah.
I mean, let's be real.
With Christ on the throne.
Are you kidding? Man, that wouldn't even make it out of the wilderness.
I mean, but this is the
I
mindset.
can't tell them that, brother.
This is the mindset.
They're going to make it there, and the Mashiach going to be on the throne and be in the land. Angels around. You can't come out the tent.
Look,
You know,
You laid up.
You unclean.
Yeah, you
can't
unclean.
come to
You can't go nowhere. You're always unclean.
when you see,
perpetually.
Perpetually.
when you see millions of people dying before you, man, that mindset. If you have that mindset, you're gonna go through the wilderness.
Well, I agree, but I think. Well, put it this way, we don't know.
We should hope so.
We should hope so. We should hope so.
Yeah, you're right.
You hope so. We hope.
Yeah.
But somebody gonna do it.
Yeah.
Somebody ain't gonna have his game to right. His game together.
Come on,
Continue, man.
But people need to realize, especially our people, that we're not going to any kingdom. We're going to a spiritual kingdom.
God's on the throne for all practical purpose. For your purposes, that's the Elohim. That's the Father. Me and the Father one, brother. So when you see the Mashiach, That's what you're saying.
When you see him, you see the Father.
Right.
Come
Oh,
on.
I didn't know it that way. Keep on playing.
Games.
Continue, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 12. He that smiteth a man so that he die shall be surely put to death.
Okay, murder. Okay, it's a judgment. These are all judgments now.
Yes, sir.
Thou shalt not kill or
That's
murder.
right.
If
Murder.
you murder, what's the judgment? Death.
Death.
Right? They're going to kill you.
Eye for an eye.
Crime prevention. Yeah. Verse 13. And if a man lie not in wait, but Elohim deliver him into his hand, then I will appoint thee a place whither he shall flee.
Okay.
What?
So now we're looking at situation. It's an accident.
That's right.
Yeah.
But Yahweh, he's telling you, I'm responsible for his death.
I delivered him.
I delivered to you.
That's
It
right.
could have been a car accident. In today's situation,
Correct.
you drive and you don't hit somebody.
So nothing is like coincidental.
No coincidence.
No accident.
Yeah.
No
No
coincidence. So if you're in something, if that happens, if you're not lying in wait, meaning premeditated,
Correct.
or you could be swinging a bat and you don't know nobody come behind you, bap, excuse my language,
Right.
bap, you don't hit him in the head.
Right.
I didn't mean, but other people saw that he walked up on it,
Right.
right? But they know you didn't do it. So that today would be an accident. If you did get charged, it'd be something like involuntary manslaughter, something like that. But if it's a true accident, there's no criminal because there's no mental.
There was no malice.
Malice in it. You gotta have mens rea.
Yeah.
That's called mental. You gotta have an intent. Where it says if you're lying in wait, you have intent
Right.
to murder.
You see
That is
the cut.
murder.
You wait.
You in the cut.
You wait to
You
cut.
see him coming out the club, boy.
I'm getting right now.
Yeah.
I don't care who hit him. I'm gonna start shooting.
Mhm.
Now you murder. But they got they're gonna have a thing called sanctuary. If we're getting ready to get on, right?
Yes, sir.
Continue, my brother.
Yes,
So
sir.
we're taking our time with this because you need to hear this. That's why we're going through it like we're doing. I want people to understand.
Praise
We
God.
can't just read over it. We're gonna take a little time with it.
These are going to be the ways in the kingdom of heaven.
That's right.
That's right.
It's, so yeah. Verse 14. But if a man come presumptuously upon his neighbor to slay him with guile, thou shalt take him from my altar that he may die.
Right.
There's a difference.
Right.
Yeah.
He's pounding on it again. You presume you wanted to do this.
Deliberate, man.
You cut off from Yahweh's altar. You gotta die.
That's right.
You deliberately did it.
Yeah.
Right, bro. You're right.
Verse 15. And he that smiteth his father or his mother shall be surely put to death.
Oh, they didn't play
right.
back then, did they?
See?
There are folks beating their parents up as we speak in America.
That's right. Verse 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
Oh, okay, the Atlantic slave trade, huh?
That's right.
But they can say, well, we didn't steal, we bought them, so that may not be applicable.
They said let's not even talk about it. It's been, I mean, they don't even have Black History Month.
Hey, watch that, that's gone.
Yeah.
Our people don't want to hear about no slavery.
Most Black people say I was a slave.
I wasn't a slave. Why they keep on putting that
Okay.
stuff on television? I keep tired of, brother, you can count the number of shows on television that aired dealing with your Holocaust. But yet, every time you turn around, when somebody killed, you want to march and scream. Well, why don't you learn something from your history?
Correct.
Maybe if you learned a little something, or you taught your children something about that history and their experiences, they will have wisdom enough to know when they're dealing with these police, for example, be very careful.
That's right.
That's right.
Be careful. You're still a captive here. There's a history of killing you. So why don't you, no sir, yes sir, get that man the driver's license. Let him do what he's going to do. If it's that, we know that's not always the case. I understand.
Correct.
People are like, well, what about? I'm not trying to give every example. I'm just saying, go on, make it home.
Mashiach said, be wise as serpents.
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's right.
Why is this so? Let me get this person the ticket. Well, where you coming from? Well, I just left home, just left work. Okay. Well, where can I see your license? Yeah, here you go.
Yeah.
Okay, here's my license. Okay. Well, where you headed? Well, I just left my job and I was heading home.
That's correct.
Okay, you had anything to drink tonight? Oh, no, sir. I just left work. Okay.
You know the reason why I stopped you?
Yeah, you know why I stopped you? No, sir. Your tail light was out back here.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, officer. You know what? I knew it. I just didn't have a chance to get it done.
Yeah.
Okay, well, listen, what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a little ticket. And guess what? You might even get a pass
Yeah.
on how you communicate. He's going to tell you what, you get on, go straight home, and I'm going to give you a pass on that, but get that done tomorrow. You ride off saying, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, Yahweh. But why the hell you stop me? Y'all, what you doing this for? Da, da, da. What you want? You know, so now you don't know who you're talking to. You might have a crazy cop.
Right.
I'm sorry to say it. Or a cop that's having a horrible day.
Oh, that was 12 of you before that.
Get out the car.
Right.
I ain't getting out. Well, guess what? Now you might lose your life not having wisdom. Am I saying it's right? No. Am I saying it's fair? No. Nobody's saying that.
We're talking about life.
He said, get home.
Get home. Just go.
That's what they tell us. I used to cut hair, and I cut a whole bunch of policemen's hair.
Right.
It was about 15 of them. They go to where I cut their hair.
Okay.
They came back and they used to tell me, man, they said, I tell my wife, I'm coming home tonight, no matter what. And I said, man, I respect that.
Exactly.
You know,
that's a dangerous job.
Yeah. He said, man,
I'm
I'm
coming
going
home.
home. I'm coming home.
I'm
That's
coming
the
home.
mentality.
And bro, you're right.
One
I'm
way or
coming
another.
home. One way or another now, it's up to you. And I'll say this, if you're being mistreated, if you felt that you've been mistreated by a law enforcement officer on the street that said something to you, did something to you in a certain manner, where it did not escalate, where you could go home yourself, guess what you could do?
Yeah.
Go down to the police station the next business day, the next day, and file an internal affairs report or claim against that officer. If you're so angry, put some paper on him.
Yeah.
Tell him what he's done. He has to come, and he has to come and take the time to be interviewed and discuss that interaction with internal affairs.
That's
And
right.
that doesn't help him. You can't win on the street. That's just some free advice. You can't win on the street. They have discretion, full discretion
That's right.
on the street when they stop you.
Carte blanche.
Carte blanche, I'm sorry. So you might as well save your arguments when you report down to the station with your parents or with your lawyer. And guess what? That hurts him more than it hurts your inconvenience. Don't get in no fights. Use some wisdom. Preserve life. Continue, brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 17. And he that curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death.
You see, that's deep.
Yeah, I
You
see
cursing
that.
don't mean disrespecting, curse on him. I hope he die.
Right. Right.
Okay. Oh, who heard that? 2 or 3 other brothers heard you say that. Bring him outside.
That's right.
Take him on down here to the elders. He got to die.
You're going to be a rock pile.
You're going to be a rock pile. I heard that in a long time. That's right, a rock pile.
Verse 18. And if men strive together, and one man smite another with a stone, or with his fist, and he die not, but keepeth his bed, if he rise again and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit. Only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall cause him to be thoroughly healed.
Well, that's the law today.
Yeah.
That's the restitution in the day. You get in a fight with somebody today, you call yourself beating them down, but guess what? He sues you. And you're going to pay for those medical bills. And you got some kind of insurance or anything, you're going to pay the medical bills. You're going to pay all the costs of that person being restored. Right?
That's right.
Make whole. So this is a modern, you understand that we're not uncivilized. So that's why we look at the law. You're reading it.
That's right.
Right? We don't made it through Genesis, now we're in Exodus. Praise God.
Praise
Right.
God.
But you know what? If we should go back to verse 17,
Okay.
and you look at it, most so-called Christian, they will say that, oh, that's in the Old Testament. That's done away with.
Okay.
But the Messiah magnified this law. If we go to Matthew chapter 15,
Okay.
and I'll just read verse 4.
Okay. Let's give time to get there. Matthew, okay, what you got? Where are you again?
Matthew chapter 15.
Thank you, sir. Drop my stuff. Thank you, brother. Matthew 15.
Yeah, Matthew 15. We're just going to read one verse.
What verse?
Verse 4. read with understanding.
Mm.
I mean, the law of the Most High Yahweh
Praise
is
Yah.
perfect.
Exactly.
How can you throw away something that is perfect?
Why don't you go to 1 with that? Read it from 1 to 4.
Okay.
15.
Yeah, Matthew 15, verses 1 through 4. Just read it all the way out, because that's a good discussion. Thank you for going here.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Yeah, man. Verse 1. Then came Yeshua's scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, why do the disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered and said unto them, why do you also transgress the commandment of Yahweh by your tradition? For Elohim commanded, saying, honor thy father and mother, and he that curseth father or mother, let him die to death.
Right, that's it. You just covered it right there.
That's
And
right.
he did not get rid of the law.
Mm.
Yeah.
He's magnifying. Now, matter of fact, read 6 again, because that law, I'd say 5. So you're saying whatever, don't curse, but you magnify it. That's fine. You cover what you want to cover.
Okay.
But that's right there. That's the Mashiach talking.
Yeah.
That's right there. He who curses father or mother, let him die dead. But Yeshua say, but whatever. But read it, bro. I'm sorry. Let's just read it, because that's the other part of it. Because you have to show them what they're doing today. But verse 5.
Verse 5.
It continue, 3, 5, and 6. This is good.
But you say, whosoever shall say to his father or mother, it is a gift. by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me.
Wow.
And honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus of you made the commandment of Elohim of none effect by your tradition.
And the last sentence is call them hypocrites. Keep on
You
moving.
hypocrites.
And keep it moving. But you're so right, brother Uriah, because
Praise
this is what that's what the Mashiach came to do.
Yeah.
He said, you got your thing going on, but this law says if you curse father and mother, you'll be put to death.
But if they're gonna read the foundations, like we're going back to Genesis, in the beginning, Exodus.
Right.
This is the foundation of the law, the Torah. And so if they read these things in Matthew, like you just said, read that, and they go get this like it's religion, or this is just some. It's not even speaking. They don't even recognize that this is speaking on law.
Law.
That's correct.
This is in the beginning.
That's
It's
correct.
praise Yah.
Praise
This is
Yah.
law.
Praise God.
Praise Yah.
Great
Thank you
point.
for that.
Great point.
Praise Yah.
Praise that, man. Thank you.
Continue reading, my brother.
Yes, sir.
You ready?
Verse 17. Verse 17 again. And he that curses his father or his mother shall surely be put to death.
And we're in chapter 21, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Exodus chapter 21, and we're at verse 18. And if men strive together, and one man smite another with a stone, or with his fist, and he die not, but keepeth his bed, if he rise again, and walk abroad upon his staff, then shall he that smote him be quit, only if he pay for the loss of his time, and he shall cause him to be thoroughly healed. And if a man smite his servant, or his maid with a rod, and he die under his hand, he shall be surely punished. Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he shall not be punished, for he is his money.
Okay. Okay. And we can see this seems kind of harsh.
Yeah.
And seems brutal.
Yeah.
And I would say so too. So why would you hit a man, what is it? He hit him with a rod, that he died, and he died under his hand. He should be surely punished. So that's the judgment. So what's that punishment? You said, what'd you say? Notwithstanding, if he continue a day or two, he should not be punished, for he is his money. What do you mean by that? So if he survives.
Yeah. If he survives, and so if it wasn't that of a severe punishment,
Right.
and he survives, he's still his servant.
Right.
So he's not going to be punished for it.
Right. He's not going to lose him. He's not going to be freed.
Right.
So now
Did that encourage him to smite his servant?
Right.
Is that to encourage him to smite his servant or deal wickedly with him? With his servant?
I don't know. It's kind of, it could be used that way.
See.
An unjust man could use the law unrighteously.
Yeah, unjustly.
Correct.
Would you have anything to say about it? I'm just looking at it.
Well, he is a servant.
He's
Right.
I mean, yeah,
Right.
I mean, he can punish his servant,
Mhm.
and whatever way he chooses. I mean,
But the thing is, this we have to assume is this a Hebrew servant? It doesn't distinguish. It doesn't let us know. So we have to assume this is a Hebrew, right?
you have to be a Hebrew servant
We're assuming that, right?
because this law has been given to our people.
All right. So you're saying that so the conditions to be treated fairly, this is applicable to the Hebrew only. You can't do him in a certain kind of way.
Yeah,
All right.
because then.
Well, you do have strangers in the land. You do have
Yeah,
strangers that
yeah.
serve
So it
too.
may be a Hebrew have a servant of another nation.
That's what I was saying.
Yeah.
So would this apply? Does this only apply to
Like a
strangers,
Hebrew. Yeah.
or does it apply to?
Well, Yahweh said the law that would give you one law for you and for the
One law for the own
Okay.
board and for the stranger too.
Okay. Well, let's keep on moving
But
then.
these are judgments basically
Right.
of
Right.
injuries.
Injuries. There it is.
You know,
This is what we got to look at.
and
This
it
is
didn't say what the servant did that caused the master to smite.
right.
He could have done something that was
Right.
worthy of
It
him.
could be stealing,
Correct.
and then you have to apply the law.
Right. You got master servant
Yeah.
that we just covered now with the one injuries to person.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So we're covering the this is a code of law
Mm-hmm.
like you have any other country.
That's right.
Right. I'm good. You continue.
Yes, sir.
Continue.
Verse 22. If men strive and hurt a woman with child, so that her fruit depart from her, and yet no mischief follow, he shall be surely punished, according as the woman's husband will lay upon him. He shall pay as the judges determine.
Mm-hmm.
And if any mischief follow, then thou shalt give life for life.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So this was something that was planned.
Correct.
You did it intentionally. Y'all got in a little fight,
Mm-hmm.
and it happened.
Mm-hmm.
But it doesn't say death, right? She had a miscarriage, right? She lost her fruit,
That's
her
right.
womb.
That's right.
It's a miscarriage.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're talking about the husband can say, "This is what I want,"
Yeah.
right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, but if there's a but verse 23 says again, what does it say?
And if any mischief follow,
Mm-hmm.
then thou shalt give life for life.
Okay, something is going on here. So you're telling me that we read this big thing now with Roe v. Wade
Mm-hmm.
that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying it's a woman's right,
Mm-hmm.
and that life begins here, or life can be terminated in the womb at this phrase, these different things,
Correct.
or aborted, use those terms. But here we're saying, it says if there was some type of mischief,
Right.
Mhm.
Say somebody's jealous.
right?
So there's a lot of that amongst our people.
Yeah, but she's pregnant, and I don't have a baby. I'm gonna, or we get this little thing going, but then that says a life. So that meant that in the womb that was a life there.
Yeah.
It can't be nothing for life. Nothing is life for life.
Mm.
So that must be life, right?
Well, you notice here, he said.
You follow what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
I understand what he said. He said the woman husband.
Mm.
Right.
You notice in our time now, the husband have nothing to do or no say so when
Yeah.
it comes to the pregnancy.
Yeah. Now that's different. Now that's not talking about a pregnancy.
Mhm.
He is, he's saying about the lost the child.
Mhm.
But I see where you're going. You
Yeah.
have no rights.
Yeah.
Your rights are very
Correct.
limited.
Correct.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, you're right. Your rights are very limited to none when it comes to that child.
Yeah.
You don't have a right to bring. You can't argue that she give birth.
Nope.
No.
You
You
cannot.
can't make her give birth or carry that pregnancy and then give birth,
Mm.
or give birth. You don't want it, we put up for adoption. No, I don't want to do none of that.
Yeah.
I just want to get rid of it. And so that's just the thing, the way it is. So that's the law of the land, right?
Correct.
So that's it. So be it.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
you're right though. You have no say so.
Mm. But Yahweh did these things.
Yeah.
We had, because we're looking at a situation when we had all these things. So here we are now in the land of our enemies, and we don't have these things.
You don't have no power in
And
your
we see
hands.
what we lost as a result of our father's disobedience.
Right.
We have these things.
That is so
Even
true,
had
man.
laws in place to protect these things.
Right,
And now we complain.
right,
Well, what caused it?
right.
You know.
And so it kind of reminded me when you brought that up, brother, Deuteronomy, where he said when you're going to be scattered and all, they're going to take your children and slave. They've done that.
That's
You
right.
have no power in your hands
That's
to
right.
do nothing. They take those children from you.
That's
And
right.
the same thing showing you a captive now. if you even make a child with a woman, you still are weak.
That's right.
If you are righteous, well, why were you fornicating in the beginning? Whatever. I don't even think it matters if you're married. She still can do it.
Yeah.
She's not limited just because she's married. So you still are under a curse where you have no might in your hands.
That's right. I think there was a case in Texas, and I think the husband brought it before the judge, but the judge told him, I said, look here, he's our body.
Right.
You can do whatever.
Yeah, you can't jump in there.
That's not right because it's your seed.
Right. Well,
That's right.
obviously, that's how you look at it. It's different. And that goes with your daughters. Same thing. They can go and have that procedure done without getting permission from you or anybody else.
Correct.
So it is like I said, when you look at, like you just said, when we look what our fathers had and looking at in a righteous way, now you're in the land of your enemies. You're in a place where you're not, well, like I said, when you're looking at
Is it a case like obey the law of the land? There's nothing much.
yeah, you obey the law of the land, and but like you said, we have one law for the stranger and the Hebrew, but here they got two laws. So they got a lot of places where you can, and you got to be careful even talking about it on this forum.
Yeah.
So even if but you go to your community, you may find more of these facilities in your quote community where y'all are at as individuals, right? They got them everywhere, right? I'm not even going to mention the name, but they're everywhere where you are. But in the other communities, you got to look for them. They got them right. They got you everywhere you go.
I've worked in these areas and in the fields that I work. I've been out there and I've seen the Gentiles protest these things in their neighborhood.
Wow, right? You see, and that's the bottom line. They protest those things, but we don't want to go back and do the research of where these things originated from, like a Margaret Sanger or somebody like that, and go out and research and then see, is it really about, when it comes to you, is it about women's rights, or is it about keeping a population at a certain level?
Correct. Yeah.
You see, that's what it was about?
We've been bamboozled.
Yeah. Oh, I got my rights. And I'm not telling anybody to go and fornicate, but why that has to be your first means of birth control? If that's, and then you get these traumas. After a procedure or something. Now you got mental and emotional trauma and guilt. You don't talk about that. But then again, hey, this is not our country in the sense of we don't make the laws. We never make the laws. We're the minority. And we're below that of a minority. But again, this is just an example. We just went over here and we saw. Go ahead, my brother.
Yes, sir. Verse 24. Eye for eye, tooth for tooth, hand for hand, foot for foot, burning for burning, wound for wound, stripe for stripe. And if a man smite the eye of his servant, or the eye of his maid, that it perish, he shall let him go free for his eye's sake. And if he smite out his manservant's tooth, or his maidservant's tooth, he shall let him go free for his tooth's sake. If an ox gore a man or a woman, that they die, then the ox shall be surely stoned, and his flesh shall not be eaten, but the owner of the ox shall be quit.
Yeah, you ain't got no problem. You ain't did anything, and they're going to say, well, the animal just did that. It was my fault. But let's find out. Yeah, you're going to be quit, meaning you're going to have no liability for the injury or the death, right?
Yes, sir.
But let's go to the next. Keep on reading.
Verse 29. But if the ox were known to push with his horn in time past, and it has been testified to his owner, and he has not kept him in, but that he has killed a man or a woman, the ox shall be stoned, and his owner shall also be put to death.
Because they put you on notice.
Correct.
You got a dog.
Right.
Make it simple. You got a dog. And sometimes they say that dog might get, you don't bit somebody. They know it's a bad dog. You get that one, some place they call it one bite rule. You don't bit one person.
That's it.
This is what come out about your notice.
Okay.
Or you know your dog will bite. So he's already bit somebody. You know that.
You don't put on blast.
You've been put on blast. You don't be put on notice. The people in the community know it, but you let that dog, I'm not going to say what breed of dog, but the dog still gets loose. You don't take the proper measures.
Correct.
That's
to
correct.
take it.
You know, my dog is bad.
Yeah, you got them bite somebody bad or attack a little child, maul them, maybe kill them, right? Well, you're responsible because you knew, you know, there should be some criminal liability on you as well as civil responsibility because you got put on notice.
That's right.
About these things. This is an example here where in the law, this is not no simple. This is like law. Hey, you can't. An accident is an accident. The animal did it.
But you've been warned.
Yeah.
So that's different.
But you got warned, and a lot of us get warnings now every day from the Most High Yahweh. We're warning you now.
That's right.
When we go in this book, are we not?
Crazy.
Are you not getting a warning
Crazy.
as we're reading and we discuss these things?
Crazy.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Okay, good. Yeah, no, we had brother on that.
Oh, okay. Oh, praise God.
Where we at here?
30.
Verse 30. And if there be laid on him a sum of money, then he shall give for the ransom of his life whatsoever is laid upon him.
Okay. So now,
cover that.
all right, now you cover your life.
Yeah.
Now that's that settlement.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay, what you got? You need to pay such for the death of my father or my child. Okay, and you're going to redeem your own life with money.
Money.
Correct.
They had money back then.
Okay.
Continue, man.
Verse,
Praise God.
I mean, but look at Yahweh's mercy.
That's right. You give your
You
way.
might just be stubborn. Maybe maybe you have to pay, and maybe you'll learn from this. But next year, you're going to die.
You're going to die next time.
The life of life.
Right. The life of life.
Verse 31. Whether he have gored a son or have gored a daughter, according to this judgment it shall be done unto him. So it was so was a daughter less than a son?
So, no, exactly.
We belittle our women.
You're right, brother.
Yahweh's judgment was the same. You're going to die for doing that.
Right. Whether it's a son or daughter.
Love his daughters.
Exactly. And if you can't redeem them, if you can't pay the required amount of money, you're going to die.
That's right.
For that daughter or that son. Well, you're right.
Verse 32. If the ox shall push a manservant or a maidservant, he shall give unto their master 30 shekels of silver, and the ox shall be stoned.
Okay.
And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit and not cover it, verse 33. And if a man shall open a pit, or if a man shall dig a pit and not cover it, and an ox or an ass fall therein, the owner of the pit shall make it good, give money unto the owner of them, and the dead beast shall be his.
So that's negligence.
Correct.
In the law of this land. That's under the Western law. It's just law. If you do something negligently, you have a duty to cover. You have a duty to other people, right? To cover that pit. But by you not covering the pit, you've breached your duty, right? And by breaching that duty, you cause their injury. If this is what you in a car accident, you're the cause and fact of their injury, falling in that pit or that animal. But not only it's cause, but you got to show that in our law, you got to show that you are the proximate cause or the legal cause, meaning it was foreseeable. Sometimes that could be you could have breached the duty, but was it foreseeable for this particular thing? Now this is clearly foreseeable.
Yep.
That if you dig a pit and don't cover it, it's foreseeable that somebody could walk out there and fall in it, or an animal, a man's property, his animal, fall in and kill itself.
So look at the spiritual side of that. See, these people are laying spiritual pits. It says the blind lead the blind, and the two gonna fall into the ditch.
Go ahead.
They leaving a ditch.
That's
for
right.
For the blind.
Right.
Spiritually.
That is, my brother.
See, so the law, basically, we see the law force accountability. Yahweh
Exactly.
made us accountable.
That's
We
good.
have rejected Yahweh's law and rejected accountability as a people, as men, because the men lead. So our women are following us.
Right.
They're not being accountable because we're not being accountable.
Right. We like you said, we don't get turned around. And the more important thing, you're in another person's land, and they're telling you, the Gentiles saying, "I'm the ultimate man. I'm the ultimate man in this society. I'm the man."
Correct.
And if your women looking to him,
Correct. As the standard.
As the standard. And since he created certain laws, well, I'm free. I'm free from you because I got certain rights now. And so even with that, it shows you how we have, but it goes back to what Yahweh said. Your enemy, that hand is already there. He studied you. Your strength was your family.
That's right.
Our strength in slavery. We were getting married in slavery, jumping the brooms. Wow, slaves, sneaking off, getting married.
Correct.
Secret marriages.
That's right.
We got married all through after slavery.
One of the oldest tricks of the West is divide and conquer.
Right.
That's right.
So we've been divided and conquered because we're against one another, the women and the men.
You've been
How can we
hoodwinked.
stand as a nation?
You've been hoodwinked, you right?
I know.
You've been bamboozled, Obadiah.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
We're missing it.
We're missing it.
We're pointing at okay, it's the women. Okay, it's the men.
It's men.
No, divided, you're weak.
You divided. That fist is strength, man.
Yeah.
In the 40s, a black woman was more likely to be married than a white woman in the 40s.
One thing is that thing happened, but it's to realize what Yahweh is doing about it. You have to understand what the judgment Yahweh gonna, bring up on that, person.
That's right.
You're going through hell. Come on. Why are you going through hell?
Okay.
You're breaking the Mosaic.
Exactly.
Right. Isaiah 42.
Yeah.
Praise God.
Same thing. You've been cast on fire all about. But have not laid your heart. You don't know why you catching all this hell in America. Why are your people always hated? Why y'all can't get ahead as a people? Why can't you do this? Why can't you do that? Well,
Is it because we're black?
No.
I mean, this is what we've been conditioned to believe.
You're
it's
black.
the damn skin color that's
causing all this.
To be hated. That's why they hate us. Do they hate the Africans?
No, they can prosper in America.
I mean, the Africans have a seat at the UN.
Yep, all those African countries. Yeah, they got a seat at the UN. They got a voice.
I mean,
East Indians over in India, they dark, black.
So
they come to America.
Who we are.
It's who you are. Israel.
And it's what we've done against our Creator.
That's the bottom line. That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
That's the bottom line.
Yeah.
Gave us.
We feel miserable, man.
Exactly.
It was given to us for us to administrate all this law to the other nation.
Okay.
And we refuse, not fail. We refuse to do that.
Okay.
So it's not that we can't do it.
Refuse.
Won't do it.
Right.
Man, go ahead, brother. This is deep.
Yes, sir.
But see, you saw how much information you get out of this. But if we didn't go over this, we would be doing you a disservice.
Right. Yeah.
Because we could jump in and start having some particular classes and different topics, but we would have been malfeasant and not laying down the foundation properly by going to the book of Genesis and showing you, thus says Yahweh, through his man Moshe. Right?
That's right.
That's right.
Oh, praise Yah.
Praise Yah. Exodus chapter 21, verse 35. And if one man's ox hurt another's that he died, then they shall sell the live ox and divide the money of it. And the dead ox also shall they divide.
Okay.
Or if it be known that the ox has used the push in time past, and his owner has not kept him in, he shall surely pay ox for ox, and the dead shall be his own.
Everything is done decently in order.
In order.
Praise Him.
Praise Yah. Okay, what time do we have? No, we don't.
We're at 1:43.
1:43?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, an hour and 43 minutes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's go ahead and go to chapter 22 then, in the book of Exodus, Elder Uriah.
Verse 1. If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it, or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep.
Okay, now let's study that.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. Let's look at that. You just read it, but now look at it and opine, if you will, on verse 1.
Yeah. So what do they call it in the law? Is it restitution?
It's restitution, but you're also restitution, but you're paying more, so you're paying punitive damages.
That's correct.
Right? You're paying
That is
punitive.
correct.
You're paying, that's the punitive.
So that's the term they would use today.
Yeah, punitive damages. Yeah, you're not only paying for that one,
You're going to give extra.
you're going to get a little extra. Right? Now, this is not even criminal, but I wanted him to, get on him. He forgot. I'm going to tell him about something. Okay. You didn't catch what I'm going to bring it to his attention. Read that again.
If a man shall steal an ox or a sheep and kill it or sell it, he shall restore 5 oxen for an ox and 4 sheep for a sheep.
So now when you know this is the law, what is that doing? All the laws in the land, criminal law, this is theft, right?
Yeah.
This is a criminal statute right here in verse 1.
Correct.
But
That's
so
right.
it's criminal, not necessarily civil when you read it. So now if you
This
know,
is beyond civil.
right, it's criminal. So if you know you have to pay, but if you stole that sheep, you know you got to give me, if you got an ox, you got to restore 5 oxen
Wow.
for that 1 ox you stole or sold, whatever you did with it. Or it said 4 sheep for the 1 sheep.
That's crime prevention.
That's crime prevention, right? That's what I'm saying. That's prevention. That's called That's one of the principles of criminal law is to deter.
Right.
Punishment, deterrence, and rehabilitation. That's the framework of our criminal law in America. Is to first you go to jail. One part of it is more punishment now in America than anything else. But it's supposed to be punishment, rehabilitation, and general deterrence for other people in the community. So they saw what happened to you,
Right.
Yeah.
they're gonna deter them.
From doing it.
Right. But we see that don't affect some of our young people.
No.
They get 30, 40 years in prison. They still gang banging and
They missed it.
stealing.
I gotta go join them.
Man, I gotta be free. That's my thing. So we see that still. This is part of the law, the criminal law. This is a criminal code here. A part of it dealing with stealing property, property damage, property theft.
That's correct.
Right?
Didn't Yahweh say in Deuteronomy that the law would be your wisdom and your knowledge and your understanding?
Exactly.
That's right.
Exactly.
But looking at verse 1,
Uh-huh.
it have the law itself,
Right.
it have the ordinance, the statute,
Okay.
and then it have the judgment.
Right. This
But
is what
all
we
are
are.
called one.
Right.
Law.
Right. Law.
Right.
You got the judgment for it. You steal. This is the judgment.
Yeah,
And this is what we're going through right here. Verse 20, chapter 21, chapter 22.
that's right.
Where are we in now? We're covering. We should have probably expanded the name to say the covenant of what was the
This
class?
is the Mosaic
The
Covenant
Mosaic Covenant,
and
the
the law.
laws and judgments.
Well,
We
see,
might, but we know about the judgment is built into it.
Into the law
That's
itself.
the judgment. You're right. That's how we broke it down,
That
right?
would just, let you know because
That
most
is,
people
bro.
said, oh, the law was done away with,
No.
or whatever.
But they believe there'll be a judgment day.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
that's what I'm
So
saying.
Judgment speaks of law.
Exactly.
Correct.
Without you
How
can't
can
help
you
it.
be judged without law?
Exactly. That would make Yahweh arbitrary. He would not be righteous.
Righteous.
If he didn't give you the law, he just, I killed this one, I like you.
Right.
You stole, I had mercy on you.
No
You
stand.
died. But you killed somebody's daughter. Well, we don't like him. But that's what we call favoritism
Correct.
in the law. But there's one law. We got faith. We got that. We have the law applied, but we know in America that there is the application of that law.
Depending on your status.
Status.
Yeah.
That too.
I mean,
Now, if you be black,
Oh,
but
man.
You can be extremely wealthy and buy your way about
yeah, you might get up out of that.
Okay.
You have the right to. You can hire expensive lawyers. You're known in the community, but sometimes, that blackness also works against you.
Correct.
Bill Cosby or
Correct.
somebody, because now you have done something they think is really bad,
Oh, yeah.
and now you become black.
Right.
All of a sudden,
You're still up.
you still
Yeah.
you
Right.
dare not say something.
Yeah.
My deacon mentioned something. If you are extremely rich or wealthy, you could buy your way out of it. Now you see,
And I want to say, and let's be fair, we don't say buy like you bribing.
Correct.
I want to make sure we clarify that buy. The brother's saying, I believe he's saying,
Yes, yes.
you have the resources,
You have the resources.
to pay for
the
it, to
best
pay for the
defense.
crime.
to
Correct.
pay
that
for the
you-
best defense. Because
Yeah.
you got a lawyer, but your lawyer, you got no money. I can only afford, the best guy in the area is him,
Right.
but I don't have the money to hire that guy. So I got to deal with what I got to deal with.
He can go to bat.
Yeah, but now, you're a multi-millionaire and a pillar of the community.
Correct.
Well, you're going to have a team.
Correct.
Bill Cosby had a team. O.J. Simpson, they don't want to mention these guys' names because they just feel, but no, you're angry because whether they're guilty or not, innocent, that's the key.
Right.
I don't know if they did anything or not. Innocence is not being found not guilty is not saying you're innocent.
Correct.
Now, I don't know if they're innocent or not, but the race issue of it is so ingrained in America. You hate the fact that those two black men had the resources to mount an aggressive legal defense, dollar for dollar, in your court system, against to make the state prove that case beyond a reasonable doubt.
Most of our people don't have that.
Yeah. So now I wanted to Elder get to make his point. I just wanted to make sure we weren't saying, oh, they saying they're robbing people. But no. Go ahead.
No, I was heading with like a different direction.
Okay, go ahead.
Unique direction, and this is to explain
Bring it up.
Bring the fire.
Bring the fire.
No, is that this is why Yeshua have to come. You see what I'm saying?
Listen.
Because this is the judgment for this crime.
Right.
Okay, part of the crime. So our forefathers, they were abusing it.
Down the line.
Because if you have 100 cattle or whatever, you could commit the same crime over and over.
Correct.
Because you have the resources to pay for it.
Right.
But no, Yeshua came, so that part of the law is put on hold.
Well, particularly killing and put somebody to death.
Yeah.
Because once you get later on, this is the foundation of the law.
Yeah.
But once the people are in the land and they're applying the law, you see later on the prophets start talking about what they were doing, paying bribes to get false witnesses.
Correct.
All kinds of things. They started to abuse that law that Yahweh gave them
That's correct.
in His presence to keep down wickedness. And here you are going to the priest, bribing, getting your way out of it. You follow me?
Correct.
And Yahweh sent His prophets, and they spoke about these things up until the time of the Mashiach.
Even the Mashiach dealt with that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
We said the chief priests and the scribes. Did they not take the temple money and give it to Judas Iscariot?
Blood money.
You know, and then when he brought it back, they said, "Hey man, your money's defiled with blood." Man, you gave it to him. It was in the temple. They took the money from the temple. Bold.
Oh,
I mean,
for the price of blood.
yeah.
Kill it. Go ahead. Here's your money. Betray it. Sell us out.
Yeah.
33 pieces should be sufficient
Yeah.
to kill the to sell the Messiah.
Yeah, we in the book of Exodus chapter 22, verse 2. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall no blood be shed for him. If the sun be risen upon him, there shall be blood shed for him, for he should make full restitution. If he have nothing, then he shall be sold for his theft. Verse 4. If the theft be certainly found in his hand alive, whether it be ox or ass or sheep, he shall restore double.
Okay, let's roll back over that, make sure we understand that. So let's go verse 2 again. If a thief be found breaking up and be smitten that he die, there shall be no blood be shed for him. So what is that saying?
So if he decides he wants to break into my house late at night, and I catch him and I kill him, there is no judgment.
Yeah. Right, you're innocent. You didn't murder him.
I didn't murder him. I'm asleep in my house. You have no business in my house. You're unannounced.
Yeah.
You take it upon yourself to break into my house. Well,
right.
Whatever you get. Now,
that's what you got, right?
What you get.
You agree?
Yeah, I agree with that. Right? There shouldn't be any restitution. Because what? A thief want to come to kill and destroy.
Exactly.
So you're defending yourself.
But listen, I say this before. A burglar, as we call him today, a thief, a burglar who's coming to steal, breaking, in the legal term, that he's breaking into a burglary when they break into your dwelling place with the intent to steal, right?
That's right.
To commit a felony therein.
That's correct.
Well, think about it. You have to be a very bold man, Elder Uriah, to break in somebody's house. Because why would you, and to break in somebody's home, whether you know they're there or not, that's a bold man to do such a thing. Because what would I do? So you've already thought, if somebody's in there, I'm going to take care of them too.
Yeah, no doubt.
So you need to be laid out.
That's right.
And taken care of. And that way, there's one less murderer, a potential killer,
correct,
in the community.
Yeah. If you catch the man in your house, what I mean, you're going to defend your house.
Exactly. So
now what?
I read somewhere, or I didn't read, but I observed a video news report of this happened. I don't know what state it happened in, but and I think it's up north somewhere. But I don't know whether it was a black person did it, but I saw the people they were interviewing. On the news, they were white, they're Asian people, so it was whatever. So I just took them. It was like a diverse community. But what happened was a woman, teens, they found out it was 14-year-old, they were teens, but they broke into the home. The woman heard noise downstairs. She thought it was her husband coming home early from work. And when she realized it wasn't her husband, she had a baby with her. The baby, I don't know how old the child was, but she ran into the upstairs bedroom and locked themselves in. The perpetrator kicked the door down, entered the room, raped the woman in front of her child.
Oh, man.
I think he stabbed or something, whatever. She was able to get her, when they left, she's running down the street. She got out with a baby with her, naked, bleeding. And then the twist of it was when they found out who did it, they were surprised that it was a 14-year-old boy.
Oh, man.
They caught him, and they're looking for the other one. And I was like, well, now what do you do? And the comments that I read were, well, I think they were indicted, charged, they were juveniles, but you need to be charged as an adult.
Correct. That's correct.
That's what the comments were saying. The DA should have said, no. We're going to take your little, if you're 14 and you got that kind of mindset,
That's right.
Come on,
wickedness
man.
about you,
Right.
well, you need to go to with the big men in prison.
That's
Let
right.
you stay there till you get 18. Yeah, let you stay in the juvenile till 18, but ship you immediately
After
to
you're 18.
you're going to go to grown folks prison.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's where you need to be. But how? See, these are the things that I was talking about breaking in. You don't know what people got their minds to do.
Correct.
They didn't come in. He could have took what he wanted to take, but he went to the next level.
Yeah.
You that bold.
And you're that bold.
Yeah, he needs to be on.
Right. So, yeah, you can go and ship them out. But that's what now we see, but that's at night in particular. But this happened, this about at nighttime. This thing took place in the day.
In the middle of the day, man.
So you can apply the law a little differently.
Correct.
Go ahead, brother.
Verse
What
5.
it said, it said if it's in the, what was it say about that? But on verse 3, if the sun be risen upon him, there shall be bloodshed for him, the way he looked at it, because you're not thrown out by surprise,
Right.
right? You can see him. We should make full restitution. You got it now.
Yeah.
If you have nothing, then he shall be sold for it. If you ain't got no money, now you're going to go be sold into bondage
That's correct.
to get to work it out.
That's right.
Yeah.
Because he could be honestly just hungry.
Hungry, right? But that's a thing for that too, right? Let's continue.
Yeah.
There's a law for that.
Right.
Verse 5. If a man shall cause a field or a vineyard to be eaten, and shall put in his piece, and shall feed in another man's field of the best of his own field, and of the best of his own vineyard, shall he make restitution.
See, now you don't did such a low down thing. Now I'm gonna let my animal eat the best of yours. Is that fair?
No.
Then they say, is Yahweh fair? Is he not even? Now, how these laws they said when we go later on in the scriptures, he's kind of say Yahweh's not fair. He's not. What is it?
He said your ways are unequal.
Your ways are unequal.
Yahweh's not
They say,
equal.
Yahweh's way are equal.
That's
This is
right.
equal.
Yeah.
Restitution. All
Restitution.
the judgment, the restitution. That's the judgment is restitution.
That's correct.
Doing to others as you would have to do.
Exactly.
So.
You ain't loving your neighbor with this.
Verse 6. If fire break out and catch in thorn, so that the stock of corn or the standing corn or the field be consumed therewith, he that kindled the fire shall surely make restitution.
Okay.
That's right.
That's
That's
right.
right.
Verse 7. If a man shall deliver unto his neighbor money or stuff to keep, and it be stolen out of the man's house, if the thief be found, let him pay double.
Right.
If the thief be not found, then the master of the house shall be brought unto the judges to see whether he have put his hand unto his neighbor's good.
There it is.
For all manner of trespass, whether it be for ox or for ass or for sheep, for raiment or for any manner of lost thing which another challengeth to be his, the cause of both parties shall come before the judges, and whom the judges shall condemn, he shall pay double unto his neighbor.
See, therefore, you don't take the law into your own hands.
That's correct.
So Yahweh is going to implement. He's already telling them there will be judges in the land.
Yeah.
Before he's giving them the whole judiciary,
Scope of the law, yeah.
the law right here.
Correct.
And going back to 7 and 8, verses 7 and 8, you know, they call that a bailor. So if somebody comes to your home and, hey, I want you to keep this, or you go to a private place, a parking lot, or certain things that person is obligated as a bailor to keep your property safe and to look after it for you, right? This is the same concept. Okay. So what happened to my property? It got stolen. Okay. Well, if you caught the thief, well, they can pay double, right? But now we got an issue because where's my property? You're right. I left the money over here. I left the equipment. I left this. Well, were you broken into? Yeah. Well, did you call the police? No. So you didn't make a police report about the theft? No. Well, who came to the house and got it? Well, fairness is, well, you need to make me whole. Right. Or if you don't, then I should have a right to sue you in a small claims type environment, depending on the value of the property. So the same thing applies here. They're going to deal with you within the legal system of Israel.
Look at this scenario. You take your stuff to a storage, but at the same time,
right,
you have to pay insurance if it had been stolen.
Right.
Is that right?
Well, you know what? Because you don't have to keep your stuff there. Right? You don't have to. You're making a decision to keep it there. Now there may be certain. Now they got to do their part on certain things. If they have a security system, if they didn't leave the security system, the reason for you bringing your property there, you know, they said, yeah, we have cameras, we have a security gated, a secure facility. You can only get in here, such and such. Now, if it's shown that they lack, you know, negligent, that's the point again. They had a duty they have a legal duty, a contractual duty with you to protect, to keep that information, that property safe within all reasonable situations. But if it got stolen, and then you can say, well, it wasn't broken into, we didn't see no cameras, but my stuff is missing. You know, you might got, well, how did when your employees come and get it, etc. So you may have a right to have a claim. And I'm not going to go and speculate any further. And that's why you maintain your insurance on it. As long as you can show by videotape with your insurance company, you better videotape that storage room and show it. I got valuable here, I got this here. I don't put enough insurance on it through this company. I got it up to $80,000. And of course, if that stuff end up missing, they want to know that you go in there and take it. Because if they got the proper situation, they can show, I didn't visit there. You got to check in at a certain time, get the camera on. So you just never know. Those are very fact-specific issues. But yeah, you would definitely have I can't say yes or no, Uriah, but it's factual. It's all, but you know, but America, they can sue anybody. You can sue anybody. Whether you get the proper damages, whether you win or not,
that's a whole
other story. Verse 10. If a man deliver unto his neighbor an ox or a sheep or any beast to keep, and it die or be hurt or driven away, no man seeing it.
Okay, that's the Yahweh. We just talked about this, right?
Yeah.
No man seeing it.
Verse 11. Then shall an oath of Yahweh be between them both, that he hath not put his hand unto his neighbor's good.
Okay.
And the owner of it shall accept thereof, and he shall not make it good.
See, so now, going based on your word as a man now.
Yeah.
On the oath before Yahweh.
Yeah.
So that's how they deal with that situation we just talked about.
Yeah.
That's how they would deal with it here. Because I didn't take it out, but there's no record of it. There's nobody saw nobody go in there. Right. You didn't see me go take my goods out to trick you into paying me.
Right.
I didn't see, so this is what it comes down to. This is the judgment. This is how this will be This is how it will be agreed to under the law.
Then you give your oath.
You give your oath.
Now it's Yahweh judges. Yahweh gonna judge you.
Now Yahweh gonna judge you.
Yeah. Give you a chance to come clean now.
All right.
If you're being honest, then it's fine.
Right.
That's
But
fine.
if you're being dishonest,
Right.
Yahweh
will
judge
get you.
Yeah, they only wake up dead.
Yeah.
Verse 12.
Yes, sir.
Verse 12. And if it be stolen from him, he
Okay.
shall make restitution unto the owner thereof.
Okay, because he didn't protect it from you.
That's right. Verse 13. If it be torn in pieces, then let him bring it for witness, and he shall not make good that which was torn.
So an animal, a wild animal could attack your ox, your sheep, whatever.
Yeah.
And how you can prevent a wild animal from jumping in there? A wolf could got in there, right?
Yeah. Verse 14. And if a man borrow aught of his neighbor, and it be hurt or die, the owner thereof be not with it, he shall surely make it good.
Right, I gave it to you.
Mhm.
Nowadays, like, hey, I loaned you my car to take my car out, right? And next thing you bring it back with a dent.
All over the place.
I say, hey, what happened to my car? Oh man, well,
No.
you got insurance? Yeah, man, I got insurance, but I don't want to file a claim. Let's go get this estimate.
Yeah.
Man, I ain't got no money. I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't hit you, somebody else hit you. Right? But see,
No accountability.
no, okay.
Yeah.
There he is. No,
Uh-huh.
but you can hear that today.
Yeah. Always try to get it up,
The kind of responsibility.
That's correct. Verse 15. But if the owner thereof be with it, he shall not make it good. If it be an hired thing, it came for his hire.
Okay.
And if a man entice a maid that is not betrothed, and lie with her, he shall surely endure her to be his wife.
Pause. Let's talk about that. This is a different time.
Yeah.
Now, you don't entice the woman. You don't put the rap on.
Right. Enforce it.
And you force it. But the woman is not held to that same standard. You're a man. You know that's not your wife. But you're trying to do a little something.
Yeah, something.
Do a little something, right? What does it say? What does that mean? What does that?
And lie with,
lie
with
with
her.
She's a virgin.
Right?
Yeah.
You don't lie with her.
Yeah.
He said, we're going to get to that next, but he said, he shall surely endow her. That means you're going to pay her father.
Yeah.
You're going to pay that dowry.
Right. That's your wife now.
Yeah. That's your wife.
To be your wife.
Verse 17. If her father utterly refuse to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins.
So say that again. If her father utterly refused to give her unto him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. So that's, he said, well, y'all on aid with her. Well, no. You're not, I'm not giving you my daughter, even what you did.
Right. Yeah.
You're going to pay the dowry. She's a virgin.
That's right.
You're going to pay that, whatever. You're going to do what you're going to do right.
That's right.
You're gonna do right.
Don't belittle my brother.
See what happened with Yaakov and his brothers, right?
Right, when Dinah got raped.
When Dinah got raped,
Correct.
right? They tried to make it right. He said, I'm going to marry you. You don't humble the woman. You don't rape her and humble her. And now you come into like you want to marry.
Should have came from the first place.
Right. So now they're looking at the brothers. You know, the brothers now, all right. You know what happened? They end up killing all of them. And Jacob said, what you did, you make me stink among the people here. You know, he said, well, because y'all gave your word. He said, should he have that? Say that again?
Shall he have dealt with our sisters as a harlot?
That's what they told him.
Not gonna work.
So they loved their sister.
Correct.
And she was disrespected.
Yeah.
But you say, women ain't got no value.
Come on.
I mean, we talked about Tamar.
And you just,
Our brother, I mean, that caused blood in the family. He killed his brother now.
yeah, like that's right.
Yeah.
He killed his brother behind that. He never forgave him for what he did.
That's right.
I mean, he wanted vengeance upon him.
Right.
I mean, he shamed the family. He shamed it. It was
The
disgraceful.
whole deal, man.
Yeah. And he was all in his lust. And he was getting counsel. And then after he did what he did, he hated her more than he loved her.
Ain't that something? That's what flesh and lust do for you. But but these are some issues that we got to talk about. We discuss these things. We're not raising our young women and to be wives. We're raising them to be, and people say, well, that echo what Kevin Samuel was saying. You're on one part of that. Yeah, it is true. You know, people don't want to hear that, but we got a different ethos right now. We got a different ethic in the community of individuals. So it's a different thing going on now.
Correct. It's real.
That's right.
But it don't mean that's the general. It don't mean it's absolute.
Yeah.
Right? Because there's a lot of decent young women that are getting married and having lives, get married every day. They have good functional homes. But we also, and that's we don't celebrate that enough. And that is true. We discussed that offline.
Yeah.
We don't celebrate those good things.
I mean, we highlight the bad. Where's the encouragement?
Right.
What are we doing to balance that?
Balance, right.
So we have to give both.
Right. And people got to see something good, you know. But again, the prince of this earth thinks otherwise.
Verse 18. Thou shalt not suffer a witch to live. Whosoever lieth with a beast shall be surely be put to death.
Bestiality.
He that sacrificeth unto any god, save unto Yahweh only, he shall be utterly destroyed.
Okay.
Thou shalt neither vex a stranger nor oppress him, for you were strangers in the land of Egypt. You shall not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If thou afflict them in any wise, and they cry at all unto me, I will surely hear their cry.
Okay.
And my wrath shall wax hot, and I will kill you with the sword, and your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless.
Okay, now Yahweh, I'm going to kill you. Don't mistreat people. Because they don't have a father, you're going to mistreat the single woman or the widow, the true widow.
Yeah.
You're mistreating that widow. You know? So watch how you treat people.
Correct.
Taking advantage of them.
Taking advantage of them, correct.
In any way, shape, or form.
That's real.
Yeah, verse 25. If thou lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee, thou shalt not be to him as a usurer or interest, neither shalt thou lay upon him usury.
See, so that's letting you know.
The usurer, I'm sorry, I think I said interest, but usurer is the creditor. Yeah, and
So,
the usury is the interest they charge on the whatever.
So the bottom line is, it's talking about the poor people. You lend money to any of my people that is poor by thee. Thou shalt not be to him as a usurer. Neither shalt thou lay upon him in usury. So yeah, you're not dealing. It's not a creditor thing. It's not okay. I don't know you. I need 5% on that. You know, such and such. I need that by compounded daily, weekly. So at the end of this $10 you owe me. So you're gonna owe me. I'm owing you 10. You can pay it back. Oh yeah. So you're gonna owe me 100. You know. You're oppressing.
Hey, man, these predators out here, man, they will kill you.
Predatory lending.
Oh man. Verse 26. If thou at all take thy neighbor's raiment to pledge, thou shalt deliver it unto him by that the sun goeth down. For that is his covering only. It is his raiment for his skin, wherein shall he sleep. And it shall come to pass, when he cried unto me, that I will hear, for I am gracious.
That's true.
Thou shalt not revile the gods, nor curse the rulers of thy people. I'm sure we know what that is talking about.
Yes, go ahead and tell me.
The magistrate, you're talking about it, yeah.
Thou shalt not revile the judges, nor curse the ruler of thy people, the magistrates. See, they put there in those are positions. Those are there in positions to do that ministry.
Yeah.
But we act like we want to be totally lawless in America. The police, the judge, the courts, everybody. And then in your community, what is it? Don't snitch. Just let the people let those other people, let those killers kill, steal, and destroy. And you're not going to say nothing about it until they get to your child or you.
Right.
Why don't nobody tell? Why? That's y'all value. Y'all are a group. That's your community. You're a bunch of individuals, and that's y'all belief system. So go ahead, have that.
Correct.
I don't want to be around you. If that's the values down there.
That's right.
Me get to keep you some money in my pocket, so I won't fall in where you are. Hey.
Verse 29.
It's real.
Thou shalt not delay to offer the first of thy ripe fruits, and of thy liquors, the firstborn of thy son shalt thou give unto me.
Okay.
Likewise shalt thou do with thine oxen and with thy sheep. 7 days it shall be with his dam. On the eighth day thou shalt give it to me, and you shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall you eat any flesh that is torn of beasts in the field. You shall cast it to the dogs.
So in verse 30, 29, I'm sorry, that's speaking, it says, the firstborn of thy sons shall thou give unto me. And that's it's supposed to be death. Obviously, the firstborn, everything belongs to Yahweh.
Yeah, that's right.
But there's a law for redemption.
Correct.
That's right.
In this, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that law requires that redemption. I think they even tell us what we just covered that actually back in Exodus 13. Exactly.
Yeah.
So and then what did it say? And you shall be holy men unto me. Neither shall. But let's look at Exodus 19 again. I want to go there and just hold that place in verse 31. And in Exodus 19, we talk about, in Exodus 19, verse 5. Exodus 19, verse 5. He's speaking to them, and he tells Moshe, he says in verse 5, now therefore, if you will obey my voice indeed and keep my covenant, then shall you be a peculiar treasure unto me above all people, for all the earth is mine. Verse 6, and you shall be unto me a kingdom of priests.
That's right.
And holy nation. These are the words which thou shalt speak unto the children of Israel. So right here he concludes, then these laws, why you think he ended it in verse 31 with, and you shall be a holy man unto me? Because these are the laws and ordinances and judgments that came from the mouth of Yahweh to Israel. And these are holy things.
These are holy things, because these things came from heaven.
They came from heaven. And he said you're supposed to be a holy people, a nation of priests. He's telling you, you're sanctified before me. You're the priest of the earth, of all humanity. That's why you've been sanctified and separated. To be priests to the rest of humanity and to the rest of the nations. To declare that there is a God.
That's right.
The other nations don't know. They worship what Yahweh gave them over to worship. And they're in the host of heaven, because they rebelled going all the way back. So Yahweh gave them over to that. So praise Yah. So we've been pushing it now, right? It's 2. Okay, so what we're going to do, but we had a lot of work to do with these components here. So this class, today's class with the keepers of the house of light, is entitled, or was entitled, the Mosaic Covenant and the Laws. The Mosaic Covenant and the Laws.
That's right.
So we went through, and as Elder Uriah brought to let you know that the law it implies the judgments. Without a law, there got to be a judgment.
That's correct.
Right? Most cases, some things are, but there is for breaking it.
Correct.
So why you got a law and say, wait, and why are you wearing fringes? I see fringes on you. No. See, look at what? But that's the law, right?
Correct.
That's the law.
Where's the law that says that you can't?
Right. That you shouldn't.
Right.
Don't go into the Gospels and mix that with what Mashiach was saying. He was talking about the hypocrisy.
Well, where's the law that says that we have to wear garbs?
See,
Okay.
well, it's not there.
Where's the law that you have to wear kufis?
It's not there.
See,
But guess what?
poor man comes in off the street, and Yahweh called him. I mean, there was a law that stated if a man comes in with the gay clothing, or there's a poor man in this, and you deal with him unjustly, Yahweh got an issue with you. He gonna deal with you.
Are you going to be biased, man? Come on, man.
Yeah. But you know where that comes from? You just went over it earlier. In Matthew 15, we were right there.
Yeah.
Let's go back over it.
Correct.
Let's go back over it. Let's read it over. did you just finish reading, right? But,
Yeah.
I want to cover this, but first thing I'm going to say this: the class the Mosaic Covenant and the laws. Mm-hmm. We're going to end that right now, as is our custom. We end the class formally at this time. But with that, I had a question. I wanted lambacking what Uriah said again about these traditions, about the fringes, and you mentioned the garbs and kufis. But go back to what they've done. In verse 15, Obi, you read it.
Okay. Matthew chapter 15, verse 15.
We're working over this chapter.
Praise God. Then answered Cephas and said unto him.
I'm sorry.
Matthew
Matthew 15, verse 1.
Verse 1. Okay.
I'm so sorry.
Yes, sir. I'm sorry, Elliot. Matthew chapter 15, verse 1. Then came to Yeshua scribes and Pharisees, which were of Jerusalem, saying, why do thy disciples transgress the tradition of the elders?
All right, that's the operative term, tradition of the elders.
For they wash not their hands when they eat bread. But he answered and said unto them, why do you also transgress the commandment of Elohim by your tradition?
Now you got tradition versus the commandment of law, the commandment. Tradition versus commandment. That's what we're going to talk about. Continue.
Verse 4. For Elohim commanded, saying, honor thy father and thy mother, and he that curses mother or father, let him die to death. But you say, whosoever shall say to his mother or father, it is a gift, by whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, and honor not his father or his mother, he shall be free. Thus have you made the commandment of Elohim of none effect by your tradition. You hypocrites, well did Esaias prophesy of you, saying, this people draweth nigh unto me with their mouth, and honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
Okay, now, traditions versus the commandments.
Right.
Okay.
Verse 10. And he called the multitude and said unto them, hear and understand, not that which goeth into the mouth defileth a man, but that which cometh out of the mouth, this defileth a man. Then came his disciples and said unto him, knowest thou not that the Pharisees were offended after they heard this saying? But he answered and said, every plant which my heavenly Father has not planted shall be rooted up.
Okay.
Verse 14. Let them alone. They be blind leaders of the blind. And if the blind lead the blind, both shall fall into the ditch.
Go ahead, brother. Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. Then answered Peter and said unto them, declare unto us this parable. And Yeshua said, are you also yet without understanding? Do not you yet understand that whatsoever entereth in at the mouth goeth into the belly, and is cast out into the draught? But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, and they defile the man.
That's right.
For out of the heart proceeds evil thoughts, murders, adulteries, fornications, thefts, false witness, blasphemies. These are the things which defile a man. But to eat with unwashed hands defileth not a man.
Yeah, I wanted you to read the whole thing. Praise Yah. We could, because we know, but we want to. Sometimes we have to just read it all.
Yeah.
So now going back to the question, Uriah gave me a look like I said, well, get them fringes on. You got a nice set on. Wearing these fringes up here. But then you said about the garbs and the kufis. You said the kufis. Well, if the law said you can wear it, you're supposed to wear them. Well, then you should comply. That's my opinion. I'm not going to fight with you. I can just, the law, I don't care. You can go through all the reasoning you want. That's fine. Because the Mashiach was talking about hypocrisy.
Yeah, right.
I can read that too. But here, when you mentioned the kufis and the garbs, now we got traditions versus commandments.
Correct.
And that's what we got. You people have to, y'all can talk about it more. I'm just throwing it out there. But it's traditions. So you got to ask yourself that you got a whole uniform on, walking around town in the 21st century. Got your garbs. Well, and that's the tradition that your camp, that's what y'all are doing. It's not written nowhere in the book to do all that. That's a tradition. But when I come to you with the law about something, you come in with tradition. So I'm going to defer to the what? The law.
Yeah.
Now this is what
You have
Mashiach,
to.
this is
That's
why
it.
Mashiach magnified.
He magnified.
See,
Right.
like you said, he was exposing the hypocrisy.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That was it.
Exactly. Because think about it. It was said, well, I wear my kufi. I know people know I'm not like everybody else. Or I wear this. No, well, Mashiach talked about that, didn't he? You're doing this to be seen of men.
Thank you.
You want to be seen with the clothes
Mm-hmm.
and the kufi and the fringes, everything. To act like you're some holy one,
Correct.
a righteous one. That's the reality. But they should be looking at what you're. But can they see the light though in you? Can they see the light? Can they hear the light in you? Can they hear the light of the Holy Spirit on you? Yahshua told that, don't he?
That's right.
Don't let your light shine. Let your light shine before men.
Yeah.
They shouldn't be looking at you what you got on, and then the first thing you come at them with, where your fringes, man. Right, your good works. And where your fringes.
That's your light.
That's your light.
That's right.
Where your fringes. Well, man, listen.
You're looking at the flesh, man.
When you look at the
Come
flesh,
on, man.
I'm not going to sit here and fight with you if you don't have
Yeah, it
them,
doesn't make
own
any sense.
or not.
Yeah.
But I can look at how you treat people. I can look at your walk, and I can look at you and say, well, you don't even know, he doesn't have an understanding of the spirit of the law in it, much less the love of Christ. What we say we're about to kind of spread the righteousness and truth and mercy of Yahweh. That's what we say we're here to do. But I just want to bring that out. So I'm going to open up the floor before we get ready to resolve it. Anything you want to say, Brother Uriah, discuss before we
Man,
call it
I think,
a day as far as the class?
I mean, these instructions
Yes,
are
sir.
righteous instructions. I cannot say anything against what is written.
That's fair.
And
That's
these
right.
are straightforward.
Right.
I mean, if there's a problem, you can send a text or send an email or, or some message or something.
Right.
So we can even go deeper, and explain it in a much more easier term, to
Right.
you. But Yahweh meant what he said.
Right.
Thou shalt not steal, just don't steal.
Right.
Because
Right.
for us to be holy men before him, we have to walk in the law. And these laws are our life.
Exactly. Because without that law, you wouldn't know you was in darkness, right?
Thank you.
And what Paul talks about.
Yeah.
I had the law, I didn't know I sinned.
That's right.
So I got the law now. That sin is always, what they let me know, it's always there.
He's always there.
So Paul is, he broke it up, but when you start studying and Yahweh let you, it kind of came to me right then.
Yeah.
You're right, brother. Because Paul becomes a little bit more simpler the more you study, the more you go through things. You're not going to get this.
Overnight.
No,
You
not
gotta lay that
overnight.
foundation.
You got to lay the foundation.
You have to
Well,
get-
see, this is what the foundation is.
this is the foundation.
Right.
That's right.
Understanding this life.
Right. See, this is the light.
Because if
We
you don't
know.
understand it, you can't walk by it.
That's
No.
your training wheels.
That's
Yeah.
your training wheels.
That's
You can't
correct.
ride the bike, you're gonna fall off the bike.
But give me that bike. I mean, you can't handle this bike.
So he gave us training wheels. It was a school. It was a.
Ah,
it led us up to the teacher.
Exactly.
Now
Exactly.
Yahshua comes, you take off the training.
Exactly.
That's
This
how
is
you
a
ride.
schoolmaster.
Right.
Show you. Ride
Right.
that thing, man. This is how you ride it. You got to walk in my spirit. This is how you do it.
Yeah.
You got to forgive. You got to love.
But you know what? If you obey, walk in this law,
Right?
I mean, some say, then the law is like of none effect to you. Because if you don't kill, pretty much the law don't go for
Right.
you.
Right.
But if you made an error and kill, oh man, the law, here comes the law.
That's right.
Exactly.
That's
Yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
Some of us find ourselves, and when we talk about that Yahweh, it wasn't a presumptuous, you were not lying in wait to kill, but Yahweh brought him into your hands, and Yahweh said, this is how he's going to die.
That's right.
And why you put me in it, Yahweh? Because I'm Yah. I do what I want to do.
That's right.
But we hadn't gotten to that part. We didn't get to the sanctuary cities yet. But that's there. Because people might be mad.
That's right.
Still. It was an accident.
Right.
Oh, I ain't buying no accident.
His brother, like, man, he done killed my brother.
Right. He got that, man. Man, I ain't gonna hear all that about no
Right.
accident. Y'all talking about God, I ain't gonna hear that long. Hey, you need to get out of town, you right.
I'm chill, let it cool
Yeah,
off.
you gotta go somewhere else and stay over here when these sanctuary sounds until the priest dies, the head priest dies. You might go back because they touch your name. We're gonna see those are the things, those little nuances.
That's right.
But that's the point. Everything builds on everything.
Within the law, man.
and you're gonna get
Mercy.
there. Mercy is always. I mean, come on, because what did Yahshua say? Yahweh just said. Hold on. He literally just said it. The last words of this of the chapter. I think it was the last word. Let me make sure. He says, where I wrote it.
There shall be holy men.
No, is that is right over here. He says, I'm gracious. I'm gracious.
Oh yeah.
Where was that at? I forgot my mind. It's kind of we get tired, but it was there, right? We know it's there. They always say, I'm gracious.
Yeah.
For I'm gracious.
He's merciful. He's merciful, man.
Exactly. But we want to be whole. Every wrong to our breasts. Gotta let that go. Because I sit down here sometimes. So things hit, but that flash, it come on you. That's right. That joker said. You might be sitting down, just be thinking and flash on your mind.
Verse 27.
Verse, where was it? Chapter 23?
Yeah, verse 22.
Verse 20.
Verse 27.
Hold on, what chapter you
Chapter
at?
22.
Verse
Okay.
27.
Yeah. Yahweh says, for that is the covering about, he said, about the man's clothes. He said, but if he cry out to me, I'm going to hear him. For I am gracious. I am gracious. Man, come on.
Jeez,
so,
man.
So Yahweh is gracious, but see, sometimes when we're done wrong, we have to go to the Father sometimes. Sometimes you can't even talk to them. You say, Yahweh, they did me like this. He might tell you, forgive me, but I got you. I'm going to take care of you. I fought for your fathers, and didn't I? Didn't I judge the gods of Egypt? So why am I going to intercede on your behalf?
That's right.
Oh, ye of little faith. Come on now. Come on now. Let's go, brother. Over you. You finished, brother?
Yeah, I'm
okay. Well, over you. I want to hear anything you want to say or
I
comment
think,
on.
what I received is that we're in some like we were discussing before the class, looking at the state of our people. We're in a bad situation. We don't have time to play. We're at war.
Bro,
and I don't know if our people are aware. It's spiritual wickedness. The only thing I received is we read this before, but it come back again.
Okay.
Ephesians chapter 6,
Okay.
10 through 17. Yeah, that's what I received. We're at war. I mean, just looking at some of the things that are happening and the ways that we're so divided as a people and
Right.
up against one another, we really got to be in tune that we're being destroyed. I mean, we're being
smooth destroyed.
Really smoothly. We're being dealt with very subtly.
Well, look at it's an example. A nation. We're a nation within a nation. We already covered that. We came out of Egypt. A nation, Egypt. A nation out of a nation. I think, right? And then, but we're here to say. But look at what those Europeans in Ukraine are doing. They're fighting against a mighty foe, a nuclear power. They fighting. He said, man, we're not going to give up. You see me? So we have to look at it, but how can you fight if you're not unified? You can't fight. You can't stand against anything in America. Everybody, but go ahead, brother. How you going to stand up against unrighteousness in this country? And you marching in the next minute, you shot your very brother the next moment. You don't shot a brother. And you talking about this brother was being done wrong by the police. But you don't want to call the brothers out for doing wrong among them. Why you putting us down? Why you keep putting all our business in the street? Y'all bashing black people. I'd say that's how I'm gonna be honest. I'm not, but man, what can we do? There's no other method to talk to you about. We got to use these platforms to say stop. But
that's right.
That's at least putting it out. Well, you let everybody else know. Well, they already know.
That's right.
You're naked. They already see it, and
they see the music.
That's why the curses are in effect, because they see it. That's why you are shaking of the head.
Oh man,
that lets you know. Am I
I
wrong?
Because see that war.
That's it.
Yeah.
This is what we deal with. The war is spiritual.
You're in Ephesians 6.
Yes, sir.
Where you want to go?
Verse 10 through 17. Just an encouragement for our people, because the times that we're in is so serious.
Oh yeah, we definitely cover this.
It says, finally, my brethren, be strong in the Adonai and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of Elohim, that you may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world.
There it is.
Against spiritual wickedness in high places.
Right.
Wherefore, take unto you the whole armor of Elohim, that you may be able to withstand in the evil day, and having done all, to stand. Stand therefore, having your loins girt about with truth, and having on the breastplate of righteousness, and your feet shod with the preparation of the gospel of peace. Above all, taking the shield of faith, wherewith you shall be able to quench all the fiery darts of the wicked.
Wow.
And take the helmet of salvation and the sword of the Spirit, which is the word of Elohim. Verse 18. Praying always with all prayer and supplication in the Spirit, and watching thereunto with all perseverance and supplication for all saints.
Praise God. Praise God.
For that,
and thank you for that, because now for those of you who are not under this blood, you can't put this armor on until you first got to what? You got to repent, right? And you got to find Yahshua HaMashiach. You got to, because he's there. If Yahweh's talking to you, you got to get washed up.
You have
to get those old sins for the remission of sins.
That's right.
In Yahshua's name.
That's
the only name.
That old man have to go.
That got to go. Then when you get quenched up, washed up, walk in the Spirit, then this is when you start getting this word, studying, so you can put this armor on and start applying it for battle. Right now, we've been in the word a long time. Some longer than me. But so that's letting us know. So we should be a little bit stronger in how to put on our, but for you new brothers and sisters, keep on listening, keep on studying, and y'all willing, you find good teachers, and you can get that baptism. We got to put that on, brother. That's a drop the mic. Again, that's a drop the mic, because the prince of this world is Satan.
That's right.
And he's searching like a roaring lion to whom he can devour.
That's right.
So you got to be prepared. Satan can run up on you, because some of you our people get run up on all the time. He just kill them when he wants to.
Yeah. That's right.
At will. Well, brother, praise y'all for that. Praise y'all for that, brother Obadiah. Praise y'all for you, brother. Praise y'all. And again, we thank you all for tuning in to us today, the keepers of the house of light. And again, we will hopefully won't have any problems next Shabbat, y'all willing. And we'll be starting a little earlier. And that's one of the things that we're hopefully kind of work through these technical issues, so we can get this class started no later than 2, about 1:30, 2 o'clock. But praise y'all that we were able to get online and get on the platforms, first of all. So we thank Yahweh for that. But again, Shabbat Shalom, and keep this day holy. Keep the day holy.